Drivers, start your engines!
Ready. Green flag, green flag. All rolling. All the way out. Stay in, stay in, stay in. Come on, come on, come on. Bye-bye, Sonny. See you later. These guys are really good. Keep digging. Stay in the gas. Hang on, dude, baby. Did not hit a thing. Why are you waiting so long, man? Bottom's clear, shaking you down here. White flag, hit your mark.
How's it going, everybody? I am Danny V. Welcome to NWP here tonight on DannyBTalks. As you can tell, the squares on your screen look a little bit different here. We have an extra. We have a fifth person on with us today, Thad Moffett, driver number 46 from Team Faction 46 over to NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Thad, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
It's going good, man. It's going good. Thanks for having me on. I'm very grateful to be here and grateful for this opportunity with Faction this year.
Is that our first guest of the year?
Yes.
It's been a while. Wow.
What an honor. What an honor.
You're screwing up our boxes. Usually we're perfectly four corners. Now I'm looking at the screen and it's all disjointed.
I don't mean to mess up the screen, man.
But we don't mind that. We are glad to have you here.
I know why Danny's happy to have you here, because we have a prediction segment during the show, and Danny predicted that we would have at least one driver on before Charlotte this year, and Danny, it's on Danny's channel tonight. Danny is very happy
because I think the week that I predicted we have a driver on, it was literally the next week that we were informed, hey, Thad's going to come on. Oh, okay.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Hey, you got the prediction right. Celebrate.
Yeah. But what were the odds on that, Danny? Did you win anything? You didn't bet?
I won whatever super chats get donated to the channel tonight. That's what I win.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, we've just been keeping track of our prediction segments all year long.
It's all in good fun. We do different things, like we have a pick system at the end of each week. We pick who we think's going to win, and I'm leading that, by the way, too. Yeah,
Danny's dominating. It's out of hand. It's out of control. But
somehow.
No, Thad, we're happy to have you on here. But get into it. You said you're happy for the opportunity. How did that? I know you probably talked about this a little bit with Eric. If you haven't seen, he's been on Eric's channel a few times. But Thad says he might be just tuning into NWP and hearing you for the first time. How did that whole deal come about? Do you end up with Faction now?
Yeah, so Lane Moore is my owner, and he's an awesome dude, man. He's great to work for, and he had kind of formed a relationship with NASCAR Motorsports prior to knowing who I was. And then last summer we got hooked up through AE Engines, and we talked at Bristol, and then a few times before that. And then when we met at Bristol, I was like, dude, we got to make this happen somehow. And Lane was on board, and we all kind of just put it together. And, and by October we had a deal done, and then announced it in December. And here we are 3 races in, not the best 3 races, not the best start to the season, but it's a new team. We're going to have hiccups. We understand that. The good thing is we've had speed. So like going to Daytona and qualifying top 10 was a huge shot in the arm. The race itself was not great. I don't think the whole race was that great. Honestly, I talked to Ty Dillon. He was in the care center same time I was. We were in the same wreck, and he was like, dude, that's the craziest 3 laps I've ever ran at Daytona. And like he drove the 500 for what, like 13 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like come on.
It says all you need to know. Yeah.
And I agree with him. I didn't know. That's my only experience in a NASCAR. Well, I ran the ARCA stuff, but it was a lot more tame than even those 5 laps at Daytona, man. It was interesting for sure. But like I said, it was good that we had speed, and unfortunate how it ended. And then we went to Atlanta, and kind of the same deal. We put ourselves in a good position, and then there was a hole there, and it wasn't there by the time I got up, and ended up with a wrecked truck again. And then Vegas, we just kind of struggled as a team all weekend. And I think that we just didn't have our best stuff at Vegas, but looking forward to these next 3 for sure. Bristol, I've done a lot of short track racing, and Bristol was somewhere I had some success in the ARCA stuff. that year when Ty Gibbs won and Sammy ran second. I was running third for a lot of the time. So that was a fun race and a fun racetrack. And then I did a lot of road course racing last year. So COTA is going to be really, really cool. And then looking forward to Martinsville as well. I've actually never raced at Martinsville, but I feel like it'll fit my driving style really well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. You're good,
I
Danny. Go for it.
I heard you say Bristol, so I just wanted to ask, this will be the first year in 3 years that they haven't put dirt on the place. So how excited are you for that personally, that your first time at Bristol in this truck is not going to be on dirt?
Dude, I think me and most of the field are super excited that it's not. And it's not that I don't like dirt racing, because I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it, participating in it. But I just don't know that Bristol – I think Bristol's exciting enough without dirt on it. I don't think you need dirt on it to make it a great race. So I'm super excited to go there and see – hopefully we can get 2 lanes working. That place is like so fun to watch when you can get 2 lanes working. Seems like the last couple of years it's kind of been a bottom feeders racetrack until maybe late in the Cup race or late in an Xfinity race. But with us only running like 200 laps, it's – kind of just a bottom feeder race in everything that I've ran. So it'd be cool to get 2 lanes working there and see what we can do late in the runs.
Well, yeah. How has it been different when it comes to running in the trucks? Because we always hear like there's a difference of like trucks to Xfinity and ARCA to trucks. Just compared to anything you've driven before, how does the truck both be kind of similar and different at the same time?
Yeah, I think that, the trucks are very like aero monsters. Like it's a big hole in the air. Like all their runs form really, really fast. And all we've done is 1.5 mile and super speedway stuff. So I'll tell you after I run my first short track in the truck, how that compares, but all the 1.5 mile stuff it's very aero dependent. Those things get really tight. Like even this weekend at Vegas, if you went in on somebody's bumper, you just lose the nose, like straight up the racetrack. And it's kind of hard for me as a rookie with very little practice to figure out like what the truck's going to do when you are racing somebody. I think that's why some of those guys that have been doing it a long time, and then like when Kyle Busch comes down and he kind of knows what's going to happen, that's why he's so successful in the truck series. Because like me, I have no clue. Like I'm driving off into turn 1 on your bumper just thinking it's going to do the same thing an ARCA car does, and it doesn't. But the horsepower is pretty similar. The lap times are all pretty similar. So I think that the trucks are a lot of fun, man. I mean, those guys race hard from front to back each and every week. And we're trying to put on better shows this year. I hope that the last 2 races we've proved that we can be a good, competitive, clean racing series. I think that we don't want to produce something like that happened at Phoenix and Daytona as bad as y'all don't want to watch it. So I think that as an organization and as a group, I think that we're getting better at producing good quality racing, and it's fun to be a part of. It's a fun time to be in the truck series. There's a lot going on with the KBM Spire merger, with a couple new teams, with all the new drivers. Well, it's only like 3 of us, but we're all kind of young. We're either like, it's like you're either young or you've been there for a long time, and
not
so
a lot of in between.
Yeah, there's a lot of in between. So it's pretty cool to be a part of right now.
I'm just really curious. I'm always really curious to hear every Truck Series regular's answer when it comes to this question. When the Cup Series guys come down to race y'all, how do you feel about that?
I like it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like a double-edged sword. I think that it's so good to get that experience, like racing Kyle Busch and Ross. Ross is going to run some niche stuff, so we're out of the same shop. And I talked to him a lot at the racetrack and both at the shop. And I think that it's good to have that experience in the garage. Like if we all want to compete at the Cup level one day, you're going to have to race them at some point. Like better sooner rather than later is my opinion. But then at the same time, if you run second and Kyle Busch wins the race, ultimately he kept you out of the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. So It's like a double-edged sword. Like they're taking stage points and wins away, but it's, in my opinion, it's worth the experience you gain racing them. I think it is. Everybody might not have the same opinion, but if you get to race like Christopher Bell this past weekend lined up behind me on a restart and just from that one experience, I feel like I know how to restart in the truck better. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he did a better job at getting up to speed and knowing what was going to happen than I did. So I think that those experiences are definitely something that you can't buy.
Well, speaking of experience, how do you feel about the lack of practice in general in NASCAR these days? Because you hear veteran drivers like it because they don't want to spend extra 2 days at the track. Team owners in some cases like it because they don't have to spend as much money during the weekend. But I feel like it really hinders younger drivers' abilities to learn. Like you showed us before we went live, you've got your sim rig sitting on the other side of the room right now, and I know you spend a lot of time on that, but it still doesn't capture the same feeling as driving a real car or truck on a real racetrack. So I don't know. I'm not trying to give you the answer, I guess, but how do you feel about the lack of practice?
Yeah, so it's not my favorite thing. I mean, for like me and Lane and Connor, like the three of us rookies, like we have not been to a lot of these places, right? And for us to have 20 minutes to figure it out, 5 minutes to cool down, and then you got to go make a perfect qualifying lap, right? Like, I mean, just look at like the guys who ran last year, like Nick and Rajah and Daniel Dye, and their start to the season now knowing what to expect, right? Like,
that's a good point.
Right? Like I don't know what to expect, and I feel like I've had a rough start to the season, and I feel like if I had that experience on my side, I could have put myself in a little different situation here and there. But just not knowing and not having that experience. And then something that I brought up today was like, we don't go to Phoenix unless you're racing for a championship. The first, like if I were to make the Final Four this year, then I would go to Phoenix for the first time in a truck racing for a championship. But like the Xfinity guys and the Cup guys, even if they're rookies, they get to run there in the spring, so they know kind of what to expect when they go back in the fall, right? So I feel like it's tough on us rookies. Like Lane Riggs is kind of in the same boat, right? Like if he's going, if he made the Final Four, then the first time he would ever run Phoenix in a truck would be in the fall, and it would be for the championship. So I think it kind of puts us in a tough spot. Luckily, we do have STEM, and we do have iRacing, and we do have things that can kind of get us there. But when you're racing against Kyle Busch, who has raced 20 times at Vegas, or more than that, right? But just like it's tough to compare what I'm doing to what he's doing because he has so many laps there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of Las Vegas this past weekend, you mentioned Rajah a second ago. I know you were in that race, but I don't know if you talked to Rajah much. He was one of our first guests on this podcast years ago when he was just getting his racing career started. So I know a lot of us were excited to see him get that win. I know a lot in the industry were impressed by his performance. But what did you think of Rajah getting the win, and especially those Spire trucks, man? Those Chevy teammates of yours, they look quick out the gates these first few weeks.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that was awesome for Rajah, man. That's great for him. I talked to him before the race at Atlanta. We sat down like at driver intros and sat there and talked. And he basically told me that last year he started out and wrecked the first 3 races, and he had to spend the rest of the year digging himself out of that hole. And that's kind of the box I'm in now. So it's like a similar story to how his truck series deal started. But good for him, man. I mean, he showed some speed last year, late in the year, and got himself in a good situation this year with Spire and HendrickCars.com on the truck. I saw that. That was a big week for him last week. It was really cool for him. And, yeah, he's a good dude. I like hanging out around him. He's really just down to earth and laid back. And he'll feed you some information if you want it. And if you don't, then he's not going to give it to you, but he's always been pretty cool with me. So it was cool to see that. And then the Spire, dude, they are off to 3 wins in a row pretty much with Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're looking like they're going to be tough to beat. Obviously, I would have been the one that would have liked to have won all 3 races, right? But Spire stuff has definitely been stout this year, and I don't see it going away. McAnally too. McAnally's qualified good every week, but I feel like our stuff at Nice is been decent in the races, and I feel like at Atlanta had I not wrecked early and had Bailey's roof not flown off and had Matt not hit the wall, then it could have been a totally different story. Obviously, Caden ran really good in the 45, so I feel like us as an organization are building fast cars for the race. We're not necessarily trimmed out for qualifying every week, but I feel like as we get deeper into the season here, you'll start seeing a lot more speed out of the Nice camp.
Hearing you talk about Nice, and you talk about Chastain a little bit. I don't know. Have you talked to Carson Hocevar much? He just graduated from Nice's truck program to now Spire's Cup program. I mean, he's going through a huge leap right now. I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to chat with him or anything.
No, I hadn't. So I talked to him a little bit when we raced ARCA together back in the day, but since I've started racing for Faction out of Nice's shop, I haven't spoke much to Carson, but it's cool to see what he's doing too, right? I mean, like Spire stuff was fast all the way to the Cup level on Sunday. Corey LaJoie ran good, yeah. Carson ran good. Like I was really impressed by what Spire's done this far in the year.
Really quick, a lot of people in the chat are leaving some questions, and this one comes from Chris, who was wanting to ask what track that isn't on the truck schedule right now would you as a driver want to be on the schedule? I see that one coming up a lot.
Man, I did a lot of road course racing last year, and I'd like to run a couple more road courses in the truck. They took them all away from us, I did it to practice because it's such a big part of Cup and Xfinity now. I think Wilkesboro was one that I really wanted back, and now we got it back, so that's going to be really cool for me to run there this year. A truck race at Rockingham would be pretty cool. Uncle Kyle was good at Rockingham. I mean, even if it's just like an exhibition truck, like it's just us there for the weekend, kind of like what they do at Milwaukee, just to try it out and see if it works. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I really want a Rockingham race. I'm like, I started watching the year after NASCAR left. So it's like I just go back and watch those races. I'm like, why did we leave this track?
Yeah.
There's a comment in the chat from someone named Rocky who says Rockingham would be lit. I feel like, is that like Rockingham's burner account? What are the odds?
Another comment I see is actually a pretty good question. Of course, your grandson, King Richard Petty, but Alessandro asked, question for Thad, who was the driver that you idolized growing up watching NASCAR?
Probably Tony Stewart. If I had to, the 20 Home Depot car, I had those posters all over my wall everywhere, man. I was a big Tony Stewart fan up until I was probably like 12 or 13, and then I just cheered for whoever was driving the 43 car, and then I became a racer myself. And I mean, I still all of those guys, dude. Like pretty much the whole Cup field is fun to talk to, fun to watch. Like Kyle Larson, I really enjoy watching him drive no matter what it is. Like what a talent he is. Kyle Busch is the same way. Really enjoy watching him drive no matter what he's in. I just think it's cool. William Byron, like all those guys are just cool to watch how they approach stuff and how they drive these cars. And they're successful in like everything they get in, which is also really hard to do.
I find that interesting hearing you was a big Tony Stewart fan. So if you were playing NASCAR Thunder back in the day, the 20 car was who was coming at you.
Yeah.
That's a good question I have for you as well. Name some of your favorite NASCAR games growing up. Obviously the NASCAR Thunder series, of course, right?
Yeah, the Thunder awesome, but whenever they started coming out with dude on the PlayStation, I don't know, I can't even remember what it was called. NASCAR Heat, yeah. Series, yeah, I ran those Heat series like where you would run from the career, and I would do over and over again, and I would start my career as Thad Moffett all the time, progressing. So that was cool. But I started iRacing like pretty young, so I did more of that than like NASCAR games, really. I did play a lot of Mario Kart when I was a kid too.
Of course.
Who's your Mario Kart character?
Man, I don't know who would be my favorite one. I feel like I would just always do random, and then I feel like I could win with any.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe better. What's your track of choice then?
On Mario Kart?
Mario Kart, yeah.
That's another, like, I just feel like I played. I don't really feel like I was like diehard Mario.
You just
Yeah.
hopped in. You didn't care where
Just-
you're racing, who are you
Yeah.
racing as.
Yeah, just hit the random button.
It's like if I played the NASCAR game, like I wouldn't say that I played a specific track like any more than I played the other ones. I did do a lot at Bristol, actually. That's true. I ran a lot at Bristol on the NASCAR video games, but other than that, like Daytona, I felt like on the NASCAR video games was like just boring. Like,
I get it.
Yeah, we need a Mario Kart Bristol Motor Speedway mod or something.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
that would be cool. That
I guess that's Baby Park in some of the Mario Kart games. It's just a tiny little oval. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that game? They didn't make a NASCAR 10. They made a Wii NASCAR kart racing game back in the day.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they did. Yeah, EA Sports did.
Yeah.
both.
That's good stuff. Well, Thad, I've been seeing a lot of good comments. I saw a comment earlier from actually someone named Eric in the chat who said, lifelong Petty fan, born and raised in Oklahoma, Faction 46 is basically my dream team. So you've got some supporters in the chat tonight, which has been awesome. To see.
I loved it. Love to hear that. You know, I mean, with Lane being based out there,
Yeah.
it's definitely brought in a whole new fan base, and it's really cool. For a long time, people thought we were like based out of Oklahoma, like our shop was there, and I was like, no.
It's got a lot of love for Oklahoma.
Yeah. But it is cool, and it's the 46th state. A lot of people don't know that, so that's another.
That's a good tie-in. Wow, it's a match made in heaven, really. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Well, I'll let Danny kind of take the reins of the show, but we do appreciate you being on the show to start off with us here tonight. Thad, I know y'all got the week off, but good luck with the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for having me on. I enjoyed it, and have a good rest of the show.
Thanks for being on.
Thanks, man.
All right,
We
Thad,
appreciate
you have
it.
a good one, sir. And
Appreciate it, man.
hit the tracks.
Have a good one.
Awesome.
That was a good one. Yeah, we haven't done an interview. How long has it been since we did an
I'm a little
interview?
rusty from that, but at least
Yeah,
he
no,
was
man.
kind of just a chill,
No.
younger guy to start with.
Yeah.
You know how long it's been as I have the awkward bit of live production as I change the screen to four of us.
Of course.
There we
of
go.
course. But yeah, no, but good luck to him. Good luck to the team for the rest of the year, though. And yeah, make sure to keep up with them on social media.
We'll have to have him on again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
he's good to talk to. He's fun, especially you get him at the track, kind of away from the crowd. He's very
I'll
very
have to-
candid and honest.
I'll have to hunt him down in the garage a little bit at Bristol and see, just kind of chat with him more a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
guys, tying in from last week, really quick. I got my dinner tonight. Chicken tacos, baby.
Of
There,
I
I
got
got
my
a piece of
chicken.
paper.
Okay.
I can hear the rustling in the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Chicken
it's real.
tacos.
The
yeah.
grilled chicken, baby.
It's
Right
grilled chicken.
there.
See? Grilled chicken.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, just a little nub of grilled chicken. That's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Danny, get us back on track. We've got a lot to get to tonight.
Yes, we do. But real quick, I've got to do the first Danny B poll tonight. What are you getting, grilled chicken or fried chicken?
Oh,
That's a tough one.
We know my
That's
answer.
a tough one.
But yeah, let's get into it because did a race happen this weekend or something like that, guys? I mean,
a few, I think.
At
Yeah.
least two did. I don't know about that. A Saturday didn't seem like there was much going on.
after giving any new NASCAR fans just the most unbelievable shows these last few weeks, we got back to business as usual. Kyle Larson spanked them this weekend.
Yeah, well, first off, before we get to the race, Danny, like, I can't believe you brought that freaking blower in your house still. I can't believe Danny did that in his video.
Hey, if you're missing out on the skits, you're missing out on some good stuff right now.
Oh, man. No, that takes off. I'm like, damn, he's really committed if he's willing to do that.
No, the
That's
hardest part was setting it up where it was blowing at me and I was on camera because I literally took like 3 chairs and flipped that thing upside down, pointed it where it was going at where I was standing, and then I had to go back over there and start holding this book like to where it was flapping in the wind and my shirt's blowing, and I'm like, I'm getting real sick and tired of your crap.
Oh, my
And
God.
you had a more difficult time than Kyle Larson did on Sunday.
Yeah.
But look, Kyle Larson, man. Again, look, this is what he does, man. This is what he does. Hi, Mom. How you doing? See her in chat. She's modded, of course. Thank you. But yeah, no, Kyle Larson doing Kyle Larson things. It's also a good reminder too. I had completely forgotten that Prime sponsors him too. So that's cool too. That he's more marketable these days too. That's cool. But no, Kyle Larson and the 5 team, they just did their thing. It happens, man. Las Vegas is just one of those 1.5 mile tracks where, hey, sometimes, a guy's just going to be, just the most dominant one, and nobody's going to compete with them. However, in this case, there was someone that was willing to compete with him when he felt like it. And when I say when he felt like it, Tyler Reddick, he had to have been sandbagging those first 2 stages, because every time in the closing laps, on the final lap, he would be there ready to pass Larson, to end the stage, but then he just couldn't do it. He ran out of time. So I figured, okay, he's going to be there towards the end, and then voila, look what happens, man. It's just another case of one of these races separating the great teams from the good ones.
Did Larry McReynolds actually say this? T-Bird in the chat says, as Larry Mack said, the turning point of the race was when they loaded up the 5 car to head to Vegas.
Yeah, I think he did say that at one
That's
point.
I missed that. That's so funny.
The thing to me is, I think Reddick had the better car at the end. I think
on the long run for sure.
Reddick lost that race at the end, and I think I'm not taking it away from Kyle Larson, because to beat Kyle Larson, you can't have pit mistakes, lose spots on pit road. That last restart, he had position underneath Larson, a nose under, and he backed out. And Larson had a bad entry of that corner. If he stays in the gas, he's in the lead. And then, basically the cat and mouse game ended up with Larson winning there, obviously, for winning in a lot of other ways. But I mean, when you're going against somebody like Kyle Larson, who led what do we have here in the itinerary? 181 of 267 laps. Like, you got to be perfect to beat him.
Yeah, because the 5 team was perfect. That's the thing, is that the 45 wasn't on pit road. They made mistakes. He got some help from his teammate Bubba during, I think, stage 2, right?
That was
to close
awesome.
the gap. That was pretty hilarious. But Larson was perfect. That's what I've been saying this whole offseason coming into this year. Is I think, even though they didn't win the championship last year or the year before, the 5 team is the most complete package in NASCAR right now. Cliff Daniels is a great leader. Hendrick Motorsports obviously has tremendous resources, and that pit crew is often not only one of the fastest, but also one of the most mistake-free pit crews on pit road. And Kyle Larson, he'll push it over the edge here and there. You just have to live with that. He is easily the fastest driver in terms of raw speed. You okay, Jared? Are they coming for you? The police?
I muted it to make sure it wasn't too loud as it went by for everyone.
Sirens.
That's the cops going after Larson because he was speeding. He was going 220 in a 200 this weekend.
Sure, it wasn't the speeding and pit road police going after everyone under the sun.
After Kyle Busch or Ross Chastain. Busch didn't get a speeding penalty this time, but Chastain got his second speeding penalty.
Chastain still came back and got a good finish though.
Yeah, that two-tire strategy paid off. What really was remarkable to me about this race is we went into it wondering, like, hey, with the new Toyota, with the new Ford, what's going to look different this year? Is there going to be one guy more dominant than the others? And instead, it looked like every Las Vegas race of last year. Like last year, Hendrick swept the Las Vegas races, but Toyota was usually right there in the top 5. Sure enough, it was a Hendrick car and a Toyota 1-2 with Blaney, a Ford, a distant third. So it shocked me, honestly, how little seemed to have changed at Las Vegas from last year to this year.
And also another thing too, what's up with Penske in Vegas? Because every time we go to Vegas in the spring, they are on the pole, on the front row, and then they're just mediocre for the rest of the day. I don't know what's going on with that too. But then they come back in the fall and they're great again. Wasn't
it last year that Joey Logano, or the year before, one of them in the next gen, that he caught air going through the tribal grass?
Yeah.
But the thing for me is, I think it was a good race. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think people,
it's about right.
You look outside, and it's funny because I saw Formula One fans saying the same thing. Look outside of just the guy dominating the race to judge how good the race is. There's plenty of battles in the mid pack, but there actually were second through 37th. Or 36th, however long they were on the track. It was pretty good battling throughout. There was a lot of 3 and 4, and I think at one point they got 5 wide during this race. But I will say that aero dependency at Las Vegas is probably the most prevalent of the 1.5 miles. And I'd say outside of Texas, I do think Vegas is the weakest of the traditional 1.5 mile tracks we go to now.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. But also, like, I don't really think that's like much of a
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, like, it's just, the 1.5 miles, it's just the standards of that type of racing has skyrocketed with the next gens for sure. Yeah. No, still a good track for sure. But I am glad though that these new fans did finally get a dose of reality. What it's like being a NASCAR fan. Not every race is going to be like the past couple of weeks, y'all.
Yeah, gotta come back down to reality just a little bit. But someone who's not honestly back to reality is Spire, because for their standards, Carson and Corey were looking really good. I know Corey ended up spinning out during the race though, but honestly, they were both doing really good.
Yeah, they're certainly coming along. When Hocevar was passing Elliott earlier in the race, like straight up, like, and I was like, whoa, like not on like a pit cycle, nothing like that, just pure speed, just passed him there. And then LaJoie, of course, is running in the top 5. But then, of course, they started to fade. But I mean, they still ended up finishing both cars in the top 20 still at the end of the day.
I don't know where LaJoie ended up after the crash, but I know Hocevar was 15th. Hocevar also had that flat tire at the end of stage 2. Took advantage of a couple of cautions, sure, but by early stage 3, he was actually running better than where he was before he had the flat tire. He was up in the top 10, which was super impressive. Although it wasn't perfect because apparently the two made slight contact, and LaJoie blames Hocevar for his day going south. Okay. He said he bent a toe link after that contact, and that's why he was back there spinning out.
Okay. It seems like it's every other week. Corey LaJoie has somebody he has a problem with. Like, there's a common denominator starting to
just the
be
messenger.
Remember,
I did find the clip finally, and all the best I could do was an on board. But yes, you can see LaJoie kind of rub the wall. It's unclear if Hocevar squeezed him, how much Hocevar really squeezed him. If it was one of those weird arrow push things where the guy on the outside gets pushed up into the wall, like what happened with Hamlin and Larson at Pocono last year. It was unclear exactly what happened, but there was slight contact. To be fair, LaJoie on his podcast, I went back and listened. He kind of dismissed it more. He kind of said like, made a little contact with my teammate. It is what it is, blah, blah. It was after the race, immediately afterwards, when he was talking to reporters, where he's like, he seemed really upset there. So I'm with you, Jarrett. This was, where was it? It was, Daytona in the truck. He kind of, arguably caused one or two wrecks. Who was it? Who was he mad at oh gosh, at Daytona,
Cindric.
Right? It was him and Cindric got into it, and he blamed Chastain for that last lap crash, which I don't know if I wouldn't put that all on Chastain. So you're right, it is more weeks than not now. LaJoie is just chipping with somebody. I
think LaJoie is just not used to actually having a teammate racing around. There's usually a huge separation.
I'll say he seems skittish.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
He's always seemed that way. I think he's always seen that. Remember Atlanta a couple years ago where he just left the top open for Chase Elliott, and we're like, bro, that was the easiest block in the world, and he just didn't make it. Yeah. Like, I think he's always been a little bit that way because he's just not used to racing up front. And he's always been a guy who takes care of his equipment, so he's afraid to take that extra step. But no, elaborate on what you're saying there, Danny, because I don't know if we talked about this on the show much in the off season, but I think LaJoie being challenged by Hocevar and potentially Zane Smith later in the year, I think there is a lot of pressure on LaJoie. He's not on the hot seat by any means, but I think there is a lot of pressure on Corey. Being the veteran, he should be the best driver on that team. And looking at Hocevar's raw speed and ability, I'm not sure that's actually the case. And that's a lot of pressure.
Look at the last few seasons. What does he have to deal with? His first season was Spire. I think it was him, and I think it was just a rotation of drivers in that car. And then last year was Ty Dillon. That was never.
So really nobody.
Debate, really.
Yeah, really nobody. This is really like one of his first big challenges. Now, of
first
course,
year where he's looked like, okay, I got some teammates here with a little bit of pep in their step, and we got a little bit more talent in here now.
Exactly. Now, in the case of Zane Smith, still got a ways to go. Still the start of the season, but
he was quickly out of this race.
Yeah, he was quickly out of this race for sure. But hey, one young driver who was quick though, and we gave this team a lot of crap last weekend, and rightfully so. Shout out to Noah Gragson, man. Yeah, that guy from 30th, and he was fast in the practices. He messed up in qualifying, and I was waiting for him to come along throughout the day. And then towards the end, I mean, there was one point where Chase Briscoe was running solidly inside the top 5, and then all of a sudden, like 30, 40, 50 laps later, all of a sudden Noah Gragson's in the top 5, and Briscoe's like barely hanging inside the top 20. So
Yeah.
whatever setup they have for Vegas is pretty stellar. But let's see if this is a regular thing though. But somebody did point this out on Twitter in my replies after the race. If the 10 didn't have that penalty, then they would be 19th in the points right now. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Considering the season Gragson had, not a bad start, but they did have that penalty. So let's see if they can keep coming along.
I'll say this. Like, how many top 10s do you think Noah Gragson had last year with Legacy Motor Club? Yes, correct. He already has 2 top 10s in his first year with Stewart-Haas Racing. So no, this has been a fantastic start for Noah Gragson. I still don't trust SHR because, like you just said, Darian, Briscoe qualified well. He was the only SHR car to qualify well, and then faded midway through the race. Ryan Preece, I don't even think he was in the field. Where was he?
He started 36
and finished 36.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think he was like top 20 at least. I think
maybe. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it was still night and day. I'm excited to see what they do at Phoenix this weekend. Short, flat oval. That was their bread and butter last year, but I still don't trust that team. Gragson, though, I think the black and yellow paint scheme he had this weekend, that was worth an extra 10 horsepower. Just my 2 cents.
So what's the Danica Green going to be do this
I was just about to say,
10 horsepower.
I was just about to say, y'all remember the history with Danica in Phoenix, right?
Do you see any green in my background? No, it's we're
Here
black
comes
and yellow
the sirens wanting to arrest that scheme.
Please don't feel like you need to get some payback on anybody because we know it doesn't work out well in those colors.
Yeah.
Gosh, this comment's so sad. Isaac Last Jedi says Priest has been anything but inspirational. He did wreck in practice and had to go to a backup. That's true, but I mean that's on them. It's their fault. But yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned Gragson. We forgot to put him in our notes, I think, but I'm glad somebody mentioned him. Also, when they mentioned Chris Buescher, wheel falling off. His 2 of his pit crew guys have been suspended for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and
it sucks.
They had to weld the wall too. Like it smacked. And
Yeah.
What's funny, and the funniest thing about that whole deal was, as soon as they cut to commercial, like a second later, boom, in the wall. Like horrible timing.
At least I'll give Fox this. They had a nice zoomed in camera on the wheel nut literally popping off the right front, which was kind of a fun angle. I had never seen it that clear before.
I mean, let's just take a second to talk about this. We're only 3 races in this season, of course, but RFK come off arguably last year a huge year for them, and we come out thinking, okay, Chris has won 4 times. Brad's got to be close to getting his win now, and Brad was had chances in these super speedways, but so far it's definitely not off to a good start for RFK right now.
They were non-existent. I mean, Buescher obviously, but at the beginning, but then Keselowski, I forgot was even in the race.
Well,
to be honest with you,
I mean, looking, obviously very early to look at points, but Buescher 23rd in points, Brad Keselowski 28, and it's like Buescher's minus 18. You can probably make that up in 2 stages as long as you don't crap the bed. But when you're almost 30 back like Brad Keselowski, that's almost half a race back. 3 races in, and the first speed track, you're not exactly inspiring in any way.
He wasn't even running top 20 consistently.
What worries me is last year with Brad Keselowski, obviously he pointed his way into the playoffs. At the super speedways, you could basically pencil him in for a top 5 finish. I don't remember off the top of my head, but he had a 2nd at Daytona. I know he had a 2nd in Atlanta. I think he had a 5th or a 6th at Talladega, all in the regular season. Whereas he finished 33rd at Daytona and Atlanta to start this year. And he was fast. He led some laps. He was in the mix, but he crashed out of both races, unfortunately. What concerns me, though, even more is that Chris Buescher was nowhere to be seen at Daytona or Atlanta. And I understand it's a super speedway, a lot's out of your control, but for the past few years, we could count on both RFK Fords leading laps and contending for the win. Buescher was nowhere close. So, I can't hold Vegas over him too much. He qualified well, was, I think, running inside the top 10 when the wheel came off. So maybe Buescher will be fine, and maybe Brad will be fine. But they've missed out on a lot of points early on that they were able to count on getting last year. And that's a little concerning.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? And maybe it's because I'm rewatching a lot of old seasons, and I think it's a lesser level, but because of the leap they took in 2023 from 2022, it kind of reminds me of Roush took a pretty big jump as an entire organization back in 2005. All 5 cars in the 10-man chase. Finish the season off with a photo finish, Greg Biffle, Mark Martin, and everyone expected the next year, it's like, well, you got to beat those Roush Fords. Like, yeah, Stewart won and the Chevys are fast, but those Roush guys are like, how do they get better? And the next year, it's like they just have bad runs at tracks they should be good at. Stupid things would happen, you name it, whatever it might be. And it's kind of, again, very early, but it has that similar feel this season. Like, they should probably have finished way better. Brad Keselowski was running top 5 at the Daytona 500 when he gets caught up in the massive one. But you got to get the finishes. And if it, as a team, as an organization, if you're not running well at super speedways, well, they're more important if you're looking big picture wise this year, because you open up the last 10 races at Atlanta. Like, that's the first race of the playoffs this year.
And also at some point you got to consistently run in the stage points. And, there were times where they did last season, but, I thought that they would be doing this in the first 3 races by now. So got to be running in the stage points too.
If NASCAR.com stats are correct, Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski have a combined 5 stage points earned this year.
Yeah, that's
races. That's not very good.
Crazy. That's crazy.
What is it with all these sirens? There's more of them.
I don't know. Something happened.
Why is everyone dying around me?
Yeah. Real quick, while Jared's trying to figure out the siren situation, I do want to say real quick, we've got, according to my end, 220 likes, and we have a like goal of 350. There's 463 people watching, so I see no reason why you guys should be that far up the like goal. You guys are slacking. Come on, guys.
We can do it, y'all. Lick the like button for the driver segment. Let's continue the streak. That's our new thing, though.
All right. But so let's go into this. We have a little note here. What did we learn, guys? What did we learn?
Well,
each of us go around and give out what we think our biggest takeaway is from this. So we'll start with Eric on this one.
I kind of said this earlier, but I was just shocked that so little seemed to have changed from last year to this year. It's one race. It's too hard to say for sure, but I think it's safe to say Ford is behind Toyota overall, the new Ford versus the new Toyota. Again, last year Ford thrived at places like Phoenix, so we'll see what happens this weekend. But it was clear to me that Chevy, especially Hendrick, and I would say Trackhouse with Chastain and Smart, were really strong. Gibbs and 2311 by and large were pretty good. Outside of Blaney and I guess Noah Gragson, Ford was kind of lackluster. So I would say that's my big takeaway is Toyota is slightly ahead of Ford right now and maybe not as far behind Chevrolet as we thought they'd be.
I mean, I kind of piggyback off that. What I learned is Toyota's about where they were last year, and they're with a brand new car. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with is kind of what I'm learning here. And it's not just, just one intermediate race, and we'll call it at that. I mean, obviously the bumpers line up pretty well. I would not be surprised if you see something like the Bubba Reddick thing. Obviously it's going to take a lot of circumstances to get there. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw that happen again at a 1.5-mile track, a Michigan especially. I think that Toyota nailed this new car. And I mean, Jordan Bianchi talked about it, how the Toyota reps usually keep their cards pretty close to the vest. And they were bragging about their Phoenix test, about intermediate speed. Like, they think they nailed it, and it's so far so good. And I think the Fords are, in a large part, lagging behind in almost every faction and need to improve it soon. Because Blaney was the only one showing real life outside of of 9th place on down. Because, Cindric ran top 10, but Blaney was the only one running top 5 and showing real speed of the Ford camp.
I'm going to piggyback off what you just said, and you're talking good about Toyota in the car. Yes, but I will say Legacy is pretty much screwed in my opinion, because they went from being the lowest priority Chevy team to now the lowest priority Toyota team, it feels like.
Well, I'd rather be the 3rd Toyota team than the 5th or 6th Chevy team.
Fair.
We'll see how that is.
They have not looked great to begin with. No, back to what everyone's saying. If Toyota outruns Ford this weekend, Ford's in a hell of a lot of trouble. That's what it's going to come down to.
I guess to end that question off too with my answer, I guess this is something that we've already known for a while, but we just, continue to be reminded of this over and over and over again. Is 2311 will never be great if all these pit road shenanigans continue, and as well as blowing races that you should clearly be winning. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Reddick, if not for pit road issues, he might have had the track position Larson had at the end. And Bubba, who knows where he would have finished if they could have gotten that.
Seriously, look back at the past couple of years with this next gen, as well as all of their, mistakes on pit road. Like, if you take away half of those mistakes, you definitely view this team in like a way better light than you do now. Way better.
Say the line, Darian. What did Reddick say after the race?
What did he say? What did he say exactly? I forgot. Shitty pit crew or something. I don't know.
You're close.
Pretty much. Like that. That's about it. He was a little more.
Just a paraphrase. Yeah. Same story.
Same stuff, different year.
Yeah. Same stuff, different year. Yeah. Just a paraphrase.
I would just laugh. He got out of the car and so what would happen out there, Reddick? He's shitty pit crew.
That sounds like a Kevin Harvick answer.
Yeah, that feels like I'm just here so I don't get fined kind of answer.
I gave you the Spark Notes version of what he said.
Yeah, no, as soon as Eric asked me, I was like, shitty pit crew. This is the first thing I came to mind. I was like, what did he exactly say?
I will just say this before we move on into the next topic. Talk about bad pit crews. Kyle Busch's whole situation, going back to that one, that was just bad communication all around. First of all, bad on Kyle to stop, late. Yeah. But then bad on his crew to where they obviously should have seen where he was and backed him up.
Yeah, Busch League move. See what I did?
Busch easily could have had 3 top 5s to start the year, but
I feel like that car, even going back to Tyler Reddick being in it, that car is going to get some wins this year, but it easily could have already had some and contended for more, but the pit crew still needs work on that team.
Yeah. Exactly. Also, just my bad. One more thing. Bubba Wallace just being not scored for a while there. That was funny. I was like, wait, it said 5 laps down, 6 laps down, 7. I'm like, wait, he's still on track. What's going on? And I see the Pirates tweet.
I can't wait to see Booty Barker's side of things on the next NASCAR full speed season on that one.
That'll be fun.
But what we got, Danny? What was the overall look at the weekend from what it looked like coming up here?
Still really positive. I think it was the number 1 most watched sporting event this weekend, even beating out Caitlin Clark's last home game for Iowa. So that was a huge plus for NASCAR. Recorded 4.359 million viewers, which was up 9% from 2023. But it is still down 4% from the 2022 race, and it was flat even with 2021. It did peak out at 5.204 million viewers at the finish of the race, and in the key demographic of fans, it held 847,000 viewers from that demographic, which was about 20%. And, of course, it was the most watched sporting event of the weekend.
Damn, NASCAR's up, Formula One's down, the world's healing. Continue.
The Xfinity Series got a 0.6 rating with 1.027 million viewers, which was down 9% from 2023's viewership, and it was flat with 2022. The Truck Series got 603,000 viewers who were all tuned in for Rajah's win, but that number is down 3% from 2023's numbers. But it is up 11% from 2022. So there is more eyes on the Truck Series compared to a couple of years ago.
Not bad.
And also, a staple on my channel, the poll. It's time to read that.
Yes, it's time for the poll, the famous iceberg poll.
I had the lightning round button ready to go. I was waiting for him to say the lightning round.
No, not today.
No.
We got it right. It is poll. 17,000 people voted for poll. 11% of you guys said it was a great race. 61%, which is where I also agreed with, is good. That gives it a net positive rating of 72%. 24% said average, and 4% of you said it was below average. 2% said it was a bad race, giving this race a 6% negativity.
And the first comment is from Isaac. So, y'all, is it positive, negative, or meme mix, whatever?
I'm going to say a positive meme comment.
Positive meme.
All right. If I can read my own handwriting here, because I write down the first comment so I don't have to scroll for it. Isaac says, for a race that was expected to be the calm before the storm, or after the storm, I should say, of the drafting tracks, it was surprising that this race had as much chaos. And then it says, insert Eric E-Step laser eyes, as it did.
I just rolled my eyes when you said that.
But let's be honest, the real winner today was Matt Kenseth for running the Tokyo Marathon, meaning he now has competed in all the major city marathons. What a legend. And then it says also in parentheses, certainly more legendary than his Cup career.
What the
Insert.
fuck?
Insert.
Why would you slide that in there?
Wait a minute. The rest of it says, insert triggered Eric E-Step.
Oh,
He
you're right on
played you.
cue.
He
Right
read
on
me
cue.
like a book.
Yeah, right on cue.
He
for
played
sure.
you.
He must be mad that Kenseth changed all the point systems, right? It's because of Kenseth we have the chase, right?
All right.
That's a funny comment, though. But yes,
Yeah.
He got you good.
Congratulations,
Yeah, I
Matt
got you,
Kenseth. I saw a photo of him with Osaka, the Toyota executive in Japan with Godzilla in the background. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Major respect, like runner to runner, major respect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I ever had a way to sneak in a Matt Kenseth joke in my skits, I would get Eric texting me in no time. Why?
Yeah.
Just sneak in Godzilla. That'll be your code for Kenseth.
Right.
Is Isaac in the chat? We gotta talk. I don't like that. I feel like he's like looking over my shoulder right now. He knows me too well.
I think we just need to have a conversation, sir.
I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk.
Like I check my back.
The top comment here is from Arm317, who says, good race, really good to see new teams running towards the front, as well 10, 54, 7, and 77. Yeah, Ty Gibbs was quietly in the top 5 all day.
He was, yeah. Him and Gragson were battling for a little bit.
Which he needs to be at this stage in JGR equipment.
Right on.
Singular Wireless says he's really enjoying Harvick in the booth.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree. I like him in the booth.
Let's see. Joey Logoat says Joey finally got a good finish.
He was running outside the top 10 though, a lot of it though.
Yeah, he held on to 9th or whatever. That's not bad.
He got a pole at least though, right?
He needed to make up some points. I think now he's like 25th or 24th in points, so he's made up some points. He needed that.
The sloth nerd in the chat here says clean air is king.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a big deal during this race. Let's scroll down a little bit. I see a lot of like 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10s people are leaving.
About right.
Somebody left a comment. Larson. Let's see. Here's one. Air blocking equals yawn. Okay. Another one. R.I.P. Bush. This one. Cards in the wall says Corey LaJoie had a good race until he didn't. Yeah,
that's factual information.
That's a fact.
What? Okay, seriously, what the hell is going on outside?
Dang, it's crazy.
I've had 7 sirens go by.
We can't even hear it.
I know, but it's crazy because I have 7 sirens go by, and now there's 2 people that just went by racing each other.
This is a good ad for whatever microphone you've got, because we barely heard the last couple.
I should just set up a camera at my window, and then anytime something crazy happens, just like, hey, we're gonna go to crazy window cam.
Yeah, you might find some
Chopper
stuff.
6 live from the highway. It's going down.
Yes, Jim, we would not like to go on to I-74. There's a traffic jam that's about 15 minutes long here. So I got stuck at listening to Chicago radio too much as a kid.
I don't want to give out details that would describe where you're at, but knowing what is outside your window, I'm surprised that you don't see more wrecks right there, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I need to write it down. I got a weird ass story that I cannot say on the air that happened in this little area right here, but you guys will find very interesting. So I'll tell you that after the show.
Okay.
There were only about 300 comments, so we actually got to the gutter dwellers here.
I like Omar's comment says Jarrett lives in a GTA server.
Yeah, I was about to say one of those role playing servers.
So let's see. Can I read these?
Gutter.
Yeah,
Gutter.
I think I can. So first one comes from Dwayne, who says freaking
Dwayne.
Sucked. That's actually
Damn.
he said freaking. I'm not.
Bro, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson was just at the Daytona 500. What do you
But the mana.
Like dislike says HMS sucks.
No.
You just don't like them because they beat your team.
Danny just hit him with the Kevin McAllister face.
And then Larry Allen had a might need some anger management. Good racing, but I am over the BS penalties and the BS technicalities. Also over the stage racing and chase BS. I think he means playoffs, but it adds
A little light for that, bud.
It adds up to a lot of BS. I am self-censoring at this point, so I want to say the same thing over and over again. Obviously, give me back old points racing, son. The best team is rewarded for consistency. And did I say this? Bullshit.
I like how you just addressed the entire internet as son.
Solid.
So, Larry, I'll just say this. I don't know, maybe pop something that'll get your anger management down a little bit, like your anger down. Just
you said it was a good race, and then he got
it's
angry.
good,
So.
but it's
that was the
BS.
That was the thing is
Pop your medicine before you pop a blood vessel.
Yeah.
It took such a dramatic turn. I'm just surprised.
It's like,
And it's only race 3, bro. Like, yeah, and we haven't had the regular points in 20
And I don't
plus
understand
years.
how like stage racing really changed the outcome of the race.
Yeah.
The same guy led the whole time.
It reminds me of an old clip of the old Avenged Sevenfold drummer, the Rev, where he's like, I'm going to run off a bus and run into the forest and I'll never come back again. But when I come back, and it's like, that's the same energy right there, except way more pissed. So that's the poll this week.
Yes.
Entertaining as always.
And that was Larry.
And that'll conclude this edition of the famous Iceberg Poll on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
Son.
Son? Yeah, son.
That was the poll, son.
I got grilled chicken here, son.
Oh, we got to stop memeing ourselves.
Yeah, we haven't even reached that. We haven't reached the top of the hour.
This is chaos.
Well, there wasn't a race on Saturday to talk
we are
about.
almost at the top of the hour, but we'll go ahead and finish up these next 2 races before we get into the first Super Chat stage break, because we did kind of start things a little bit later, having Thad on the start, which, by the way, if you missed it, you can go back to the beginning afterwards and watch our interview with Thad Moffett.
Son.
Yeah.
Son.
Son.
He's the grandson of Richard Petty.
But yeah, so the Xfinity race happened on Saturday, but
and let's move on.
yeah, but I don't know, like, what's going on, man? It's off to such a slow start, man. What's happening? What's happening? Bro?
Atlanta, maybe just a bad car track combo. They're gonna have to figure that out over time. But yeah, I the most interesting storyline on Saturday to me was the difference between JGR teammates. Like, you had Nemechek and Chandler Smith were like 1-2 or among the 2 fastest all day, but Eric Almirola was like 9th to 12th, and Sheldon Creed was like 15th. I was just a little surprised to see such a split difference. And a lot of Creed is under a microscope because of things he said in the past few weeks and months, so I have to note that. But I don't know, that was the only thing that really stood out to me as noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, like, other than, obviously Nemechek and Smith racing each other hard, even though they're teammates. Yeah, just another one of those, just another Xfinity race, I guess.
And moving on.
Yeah.
There's really nothing.
Honestly, when I was trying to do my little skit, I did not know what to say for the Xfinity race. I pretty much wing everything, but I just BS that part of it.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek won. There you go.
Fishing with car points out Deegan was 15th.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's what I think. I'll say this.
That's good.
It's good. Yeah, I think
the
I said
reason
before.
the reason it's noteworthy
That's
Yeah, I'm
still
sorry.
11 spots behind Danica's best finish in Xfinity there.
Yeah.
The reason it's noteworthy is just because she's been to Las Vegas before in an Xfinity car. So this is like, okay, this is in a way her second trip to this track. And she ran basically how she did the first time. So, I mean, I guess that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, to me, if Deegan runs between 11th and 20th in that equipment, that's good. And she's getting more track time, and she can improve if she can keep improving as a driver. It's all I ask. It's all I ask.
But now to the biggest story though of the weekend, in my opinion.
Can you take us higher? That's how we all felt. How we all felt after watching that one. Because honestly, getting away from everyone just loving the fact that Rajah won that one. Honestly, that was one of the better Truck Series races we've seen in a while.
Yeah,
it really was.
Race. The top
really
five were slicing and dicing throughout. And I just love that despite both Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch being in the field, all eyes were on Nick Sanchez, Rajah Caruth, Corey Heim. Like, it was the young guys
that were really
stealing the show.
They brought it to him.
Tyler Ankrum finished second.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Tyler Ankrum because I thought of this earlier when we had Thad on. I was like, Tyler Ankrum suddenly, he's won a truck race before, but that was forever ago at this point. But I started looking back, I was like, dang, he's been in the Truck Series. This is his 7th year in the Truck Series, and he's only 23 years old.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How many times can you ever remember in the Truck Series, raw speed alone, that Kyle Busch is the third best driver on his team?
No, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing. I mean, not only does Spire, they're off to an awesome start, but also too, the Spire teammates, they brought it to KFB. I mean, Moffitt was on here. He was talking about, how he wants the Cup Series drivers racing in trucks. And, it's like, and they actually beat him too. So that's cool.
This is Kyle's, home track from Las Vegas. So,
yeah.
It's just it's not the same when he climbs in and it's not his name, Kyle Busch Motorsports, on the door. I think he just checked out. He just
right.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to Bristol. You're gonna see what's gonna happen there.
But Rajah Caruth, though, man. I mean, we had him on the show a while back, and I think even before he even started his career thing, but I think as far back as 2018.
2018. Well, we didn't have him on, but even if we didn't, I know we've known him since then. And,
the first time we all spoke to Rajah Caruth, he had not driven a real race car in real life.
Mm-hmm.
No, when I first talked to him, and now look at him too. So this is, I mean, he has a ton of potential. We have been talking about him for a while on the show. And I've also seen some of his critics for a while there going well, yeah, he's getting all this attention, but blah, blah, blah. He's not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, last year was his first season in the Truck Series. Okay. Now this season, I felt we all agreed was a make or break year, in my opinion. And voila, gets the win right away, has the Hendrick.com sponsorship locked up. I mean, he has everything going for him right now. I mean, that win just changed his entire career, in my opinion.
And I will say, I think there is a huge separation between the equipment he's in at Spire right now compared to GMS in their final days. GMS used to be a peak Truck Series team.
Yeah. And
then ultimately they went away last year for good reason, because they definitely were no longer that peak team, but they were anymore. Seeing that, and now seeing the HendrickCars.com back and come onto him and that whole team, I mean, the future is very bright with him. Now I think he's only 21. He's still in college. I saw him talking. He still had college work to get done.
Yep.
So I commend him for still going through with that and make sure he's prioritizing his education too. So, I'll be interested to see where Rajah goes from here. I said this a little bit with some of these guys. There was some huge pressure put on him, and I think it was not fair for this to have been done at the time when Steve Phelps come out and had public comments saying that, he was going to be a star of the sport. And I'm like, well, for the president of NASCAR to come out and label that on you, and you've barely got your career going,
And think about who was on that Rose Bowl parade float with Richard Petty, Rajah Caruth.
Yeah.
What? He hadn't won anything.
The one they never showed, I think. Right?
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this is something just for the three of you too, that we've all come up north to visit either 4th of July or around that time. up with my family a couple times. And you met my brother. Rajah is a month older than my brother.
Yeah.
Like, he's a kid. This is a kid.
The winners are getting
this.
younger and younger and younger.
He's 21 years old. That's insane. Wow, my brother's 21. He's 21 years old. Sorry, it just hit me at that same time.
No, you're cool. But it's also cool too, just that, just knowing his backstory too, that, he didn't come from like, a racing family or, a ton of money, that sort of thing.
And here's what I find really cool about just the industry in general and how he is viewed and how he has worked his way through. Because it's easy for a lot of people to come in and be like, oh, he hasn't done this or this about any driver. But the fact that from every end of Twitter to Reddit, YouTube, probably not Facebook, but for obvious reasons, but basically everywhere that's relevant, no one of any importance had anything bad to say whatsoever or didn't stay quiet. Everyone was happy because we've
honestly,
seen this first.
Even Facebook seemed honestly positive. What I saw in there was honestly positive too. So,
and we've seen firsthand how much work he puts in. Like, if he's knocked out of a race, he doesn't just pack up and leave. I remember at Kansas last year, him and Majeski got together after the race. They worked it out. He wanted to know what he did wrong, what he could improve on, what not. You've seen him improve on restarts, on just his racecraft in general. And I think that people take note of that when somebody goes above and beyond to do that. And to see him now continue to improve, get that first win. I know people say this a lot, and I know it's an overused phrase, but it really does feel like the floodgates might have opened at this point because he has raw, real talent, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, we saw the improvement towards the end of last season. Like, he wasn't in the playoffs, but during those playoff races, he was finishing in the top 10 regularly. So I expected him to make the playoffs this year, expected him to win, but not this soon. Just to win at Las Vegas in convincing fashion.
From the pole.
It's so it's so impressive. But beyond that, what resonates about Rajah Caruth with me is, I'm obviously not a race car driver, but I'm in the industry. And I didn't grow up in a racing family or in racing country. I grew up in Houston, Texas, with my parents didn't know anything about NASCAR, but I got into it at a young age. And now obviously it's my entire life, to a degree. I'm not driving a car, but it is my entire life. So like, it's fun to see Rajah Caruth come up through a similar way, not in a racing family, not having those connections, not having that family funding that so many Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series drivers have today, to not even get behind the wheel of a real race car until he was 17 years old, which is ancient by modern racing standards. Just, it's inspiring to me, not only to see someone who didn't come from a racing family find success in this industry, but to prove that there is another way. You know what I mean? Like, NASCAR is a nationwide, worldwide sport. It's nice to know that you don't have to live in North Carolina or grow up in North Carolina and have connections to racing families and racing royalty to make it. Like, that part of it is very much inspiring.
Exactly. Yeah, he grew up in, he's from, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. He's a, huge Wizards fan. He's doing way more winning than the Wizards are right now. That's for sure. 15-game losing streak, by the way.
You had to sneak that in there.
Twist the knife for them.
Hey, it's a fact, though. He's won one. The Wizards have lost 15 straight. I'm just saying. But no. He has a bright future for sure. And let's see how he does, though. I'm not gonna say, though, right now, championship favorite. No way. Contender, though, yes.
Conversation he should be in.
Yeah. Conversation.
Why did I say that like Yoda?
Conversation.
Conversation he should be in.
None of us predicted him to win. He was none of our prediction. That Darian did say we'd have a first-time winner, but none of us predicted him to win this early. Definitely believed it could be possible he could win, just didn't know when it would come. But I think now it's all about, okay, when we go into Bristol, how does he respond? I mean, I can already say this, I'm not going to pick him to beat Kyle Busch there, that's for sure. But wouldn't have said that for this last race either. So
exactly,
we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
right. So. And keep in mind, Rajah's finished 3rd, 8th, and 1st to begin the year. So he is not just this win. He is red hot to begin the season.
If we were in traditional point systems, I mean, I think he might be the points leader anyways, but he would be the points leader in traditional systems too.
He is shockingly, he's actually 4th in points.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, he's 10 he's only 10 points out. Ankrum is the points leader. Majeski, Heim, Caruth. I'm actually shocked to see.
Ankrum I feel like might have another win coming at some point.
Ankrum and Majeski have twice as many stage points as Caruth, so that's where they're getting him.
Right.
But I'll say, outside of Rajah, that was a really, really good race. And I want I want that not to be lost in the big story.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 races, I won't say the last one in Atlanta was great by any means, but they were both pretty clean for truck standards. And just keep it going, guys, please. Like, it's enjoyable to watch.
That looked like the Truck Series.
That's not going to be easy to promise at Bristol being the next race for them.
Yeah, we'll see. But no, that was the Truck Series I grew up with. You know, good racing, clean, hard, fast, good old-fashioned fun. Just keep it going.
That feels weird. I know we've had the truck dirt race in the past, but to think that we're getting ready to go watch a truck race at Bristol this early in the season, I think it hadn't even dawned on me until recently that there was no spring Xfinity race brought back for that when it's trucks at Bristol in the spring. So
not different.
But that'll do it for this weekend's races. Overall, pretty good. A lot to talk about after that one. Let's get into now. We're going to go ahead and go for the first Super Chat stage break of the night. I'll read off Super Chats for 3 minutes. When you guys want to tell me when, and we will start right now. Bailey Riker, appreciate the $5. Who would have had Noah Gragson having 2 top 10s and 3 races to start the season, and his 1 DNF not being his fault either? Keep the momentum up, please. Absolutely, good for him.
Yeah.
Isaac, the Last Jedi, appreciate the $4.99 from you. Congrats, NWP. All your chicken talk broke NASCAR into hiring a chicken restaurant owner to be the grand marshal at COTA, though he's also an Imperial Moff as well. I am really excited to be able to be at COTA. It would be nice to meet him. I don't know if it'll be easy to meet him, but it would be nice to meet him. Napa Racing Fan 927, appreciate the $2. There's some spelling errors here, but I'm going to read it exactly the way they spelled it.
Uh-oh.
No OndyCar, don't do it. No charters, survey the bump day. They meant to say no IndyCar, don't do it. No charters, save bump day.
Hey, I agree. He must have just watched my video.
I had a little alcohol before.
Spencer Purcell, appreciate you being a member for 32 months. Met Doug Rice last weekend. That was pretty cool. Hey, good for you. I've met Doug a couple of times. He's a really
That's awesome. He's great.
Yeah. Nice.
Hunter Nixon Fishing, appreciate the $4.99 from you, man. Kyle Busch's and Tyler Reddick's team is going to be permanently bound to a wheelchair as many times as they shoot themselves in the foot.
Hey, speaking facts, bro. Facts.
Shoot.
Wilro Hood Gaming, appreciate the $4.99. As a Corey LaJoie fan, I was disappointed this week. Had a top 10 car, just got screwed late. I think he's a playoff contender, though. What do you guys think? I'm not going to go that far, but he's definitely going to have some good runs.
I think he'll be in the mix. I think he'll have another couple of shots at top 5s, and you never know. Could steal a win.
He might make the top 20. I don't have him in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I'll say he's in the mix for now. Yeah.
Nicholas Friedman, appreciate the $5. With the exception of 2022, Denny Hamlin has finished every single Daytona 500 he has started.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I realized that.
Damn.
That's a hell of a fact.
Son.
Quattro, appreciate you becoming a new member of Danny B Superfans. Appreciate that. Gary Buki, appreciate the $5. Shout out the second place on back for providing some entertainment at Vegas this weekend. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Quattro, appreciate you gifting out 1 DannyBTalks membership. Gary Buki, appreciate the $20 super chat from you. That's very generous of you. Watching Hosevar wheel that old Ty Dillon 30th in points ride to have top 10 speed was the highlight of the weekend for me. Looks like a playoff bubble driver out there. Really impressed with the new first real track in 2024.
Didn't need to go after Ty Dillon that hard. But
shot out of the sky.
Seriously.
NASCAR Sun 2414, appreciate it $9.99 from you. Hey NWP guys, Las Vegas. Trucks was the best race of Rajah Caruth making history. Xfinity finally Toyota or Ford won. Cup was dominant. Jimmy Johnson revived, and I'm so not ready for boredom again.
That's a little over 3 minutes.
All right, we'll go ahead and let's make it easier because there's another from NASCAR, so let's just end on him.
Okay.
Appreciate it, 499 from NASCAR. Anyone going to Phoenix this weekend? Eric Estep, enjoy your time there. I was at 2019 Fall Phoenix race before it became finale.
I will be there. You can find me at the NASCAR Experience stage Friday at 3 p.m., Saturday at 12:30.
Is it you and Brennan Poole again?
Me and Brennan, we had a meeting today breaking down what we're going to discuss. We should have a guest joining us, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll just say it. Hopefully Tommy Joe Martins will be there with us, so I'll get to interrogate Brennan in front of his car owner.
He'll be fun. Tommy Joe will be fun to talk to on stage.
Tommy Joe, sure. I'm hoping he's available at least one of those 2 days because he's a good guy to talk to, but he's also not afraid to tell you what he thinks. Like he'll give you a filtered but very honest opinion.
Exactly.
Darian, you got
what?
Darlington last year.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was after the race, and we're leaving the track, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Martins, how's it going?" Hey, no, he said, "Not well." I'm like, "What happened?" "Oh, we wrecked." I'm like,
"No," he said, "Worst day of my life," because they wrecked every car in the field.
I was like, "Oh yeah,"
and I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car, like in tears, just trying to hold it in.
No, we had a good laugh about it later.
Yeah,
though, but I was like, "Oh, that's right."
I'm like, "Damn,
Darren. It was a long race, bro."
I'm like, "We have had a great day," and then here you go again. Just twist the knife just a little bit more.
Darian is like, he's out here smiling, thinking, "I'm spreading positivity." And really, he's just jabbing it in.
Yeah, just jabbing.
Darian is like the definition of chaotic neutral.
God, just jabbing away. Yeah.
Speaking of some chaos, my phone's been buzzing for a little bit, saying something. There's some kind of watch for this area or something like that.
Yes, sir. And it's time for the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we have on tap for this evening?
First thing is first, I want to give a shout out to the Spotify poll that we had. I asked them what their favorite of the major Atlanta moments was, seeing how Atlanta was last week. 2% of them voted Dale's win in 2000. 8% voted Carl Edwards' first win. Only 11, that's how you can tell our audience is very, very young. Only 11% voted 1992 Hooters 500. 15% voted Harvick's win in 2001. 23% voted Jeff versus Jimmy, and 41% are prisoners of the moment voting for the finish in 2024. And don't get me wrong, it's a really great moment. I want to see how a year from now that poll looks.
Yeah, that. I think even if you pulled them today, it would probably come back down to earth a little bit.
For all of you who are fans of what was DEI, the trademark for the fonts of the 1 and 8 are set to expire after this month if the Wicked Witch does not give a good reason for why she should have them. Basically, like, does she sell merchandise? Does she use it in branding in any way? No and no.
I know Kyle Busch has his own font, but please, I would love to see him in the Dale Jr. 8.
Make
throwback weekend.
Quick Trip red 8 car.
Do it.
Yes,
and the thing is, you don't have to have
them or Fortins or someone like that.
Well, and Michael Waltrip has the 15 font from DEI. He scooped that one up when it expired. But if you remember, in that 2011 Daytona race, he still had the stripes on the side. Kyle Busch could just do the funniest thing ever and have a full-on Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback and win in it. And I would root for it just because I would love to see how the members of my family who are huge Earnhardt fans and hate Kyle Busch the way I definitely used to hate Kyle Busch. I've lightened up on that since. I would love to see their reactions, and I would even more love to just be like, so, what'd you think of the grade 8 winning?
It would
He
be interesting to
He
watch.
should go
Now,
all
I
out,
don't
wear the
know that-
skeleton gloves and everything, just
Yeah.
like Halloween, dress up as Dale Jr.
I don't know that Trackhouse would really want it, but they should just get it just to have it.
Well, they tried to use the one
They
22.
put the slash in it. That was the only way they got away with it.
Yeah.
Now they could. Just any way of getting back at Teresa just makes me happy. Like, it just makes me happy. I know it's been almost 20 years since Junior left DEI, but just again, I want to be like Darian. Just twist that knife a little more.
Yeah. But no, do it on purpose this time, though, not by accident.
There were some releases when it came to iRacing, one of which has been confirmed now that the rain updates will also be used at ovals. So that should be fun and messy. NASCAR has added an additional 20 minutes of practice time for both groups at COTA, so they'll have 30 minutes of practice instead of 10.
Not for like 5 whole laps.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hang the banner! The Martinsville Truck Race will now be called the 2024 Long John Silver's 200. Congrats to our friend and friend of the show, Ryan Vargas, who's going to be running the entirety of the NASCAR Euro Series in the number 30 for 3F Racing this year. That's pretty cool.
And he's running the new race this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good news, or maybe bad news if you haven't bought your tickets already. The infield at Michigan has been sold out. The race is in August. I'm just going to tell you now, I went to Michigan in 2016 in the infield, and we could get tickets there were still tickets available 3 weeks before.
And that is not a small campground either.
No,
I went to Michigan in 2021, sat with Jarrett for that one. That is not a small infield area.
It can hold between 20 and 30,000, give or take, from when I did some more research. Then you got 56,000 in the grandstands, and the grandstands have been getting better. Like, if they were to sell out the grandstands or even get close, it'd be their best attended Michigan race since Dale Jr.'s last win there 12 years ago. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad.
So good news there. Now, a quick reminder when it comes to next week. We will be on Eric Estep's channel. Let me remove the light goal. You can see Eric's wonderful hair here. There you go. And the next 2 weeks, we have some guests coming on, including March 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Eric's channel, where Jet will be coming on, the man who's made so many graphics and great intros for us. And then week after that on Darian's channel, Ellie Productions will be coming on the show. So got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And Eric, I think you already kind of went in detail, but just kind of, again, give the rundown of what you'll be doing in Phoenix this weekend.
Not much, just doing a live stage show, like I said, with Brennan Poole. We'll talk a lot of Xfinity stuff, of course, but we'll also catch up on all the latest news, what we've been doing over the course of the West Coast swing. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't get to go to Phoenix last year, unfortunately, spring or fall race, so I'm excited to be back at Phoenix. It is one of my favorite venues to visit. I like the town as well. I like the desert. I don't know. I grew up in the green part of Texas, but I like going out west. It gets dry, cactus everywhere. I like it out west, so I'm excited to be back in Phoenix. I might catch a spring training game while I'm out there because I've never actually been to a spring training game, and so I figured if I have an evening free, I'm gonna go check that out. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Hope to see you guys out there.
And that's the lightning round.
And that'll conclude this edition of the famous lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now back to the show.
Ross Crashtain is right. The $20 nachos at Phoenix, no, they can eat shit. I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One
bro.
could say if you're eating them, you are eating shit.
Yeah, I heard the cafeteria nachos are better than the Phoenix nachos.
They
That's
certainly
what I
cost
heard.
less. So, Danny, what do we got when it comes to the big headlines this week?
There's a few things, but real quick, I'm just going to say, only 20 more likes. Hurry up. There's 472 of you watching this.
Yes.
Okay. Biggest headline, though, is Honda. Honda has been in the news cycle, or at least in the rumor mills, for, I don't know, how many years now have we been hearing Honda to NASCAR?
Over 20.
But only in more recent years has it started to seem more possible.
You know what's funny is, so our buddy Steven Toronto from CBS, He's been going on to early 2000s and late 90s forums online, and he found like one from 2005.
Wow.
And it's all the same package talk, favoritism to the popular boy talk, Honda talk. Honda might come into NASCAR in the next couple of years, might follow the same path as Toyota, might this, and this. It's funny the cycles the sport always goes in, but this one feels like there's real steam behind it compared to the other ones where it's just he said, she said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Phelps has mentioned Honda by name on Fox during an interview with Chris Myers. Then recently, Marshall Pruitt, who's an IndyCar reporter, on his podcast said that if you're a NASCAR fan who likes Honda, then you're likely going to be very happy here before too long. It's important to note that Honda will not be in NASCAR in 2025. Like, we are looking at least 2 years from now. I think it was maybe it was Brian Murphy on Twitter reminded everyone that the deadline to submit your like car design, all your different approval stuff is like September and that's for like, if they were to submit by September 2024, that would be for like 2026. Like, if you submit in 2024 and it gets approved, you're ready for 2026, I think, at the earliest.
Yep.
So I think 2026 is the earliest they could join NASCAR. It's not a done deal, but I do think this is probably the furthest along talks have been, maybe since those forums were created in the early 2000s. So it is interesting. It's I know you just did a video today, Jarrett. Like, it's got everyone's attention, and I think for good reason.
Yeah. I guess, is it widely believed they would probably run the Honda Accord in the Cup and Xfinity Series, and I guess the Honda Ridgeline would make it to the Truck Series?
The Honda Odyssey.
Yeah,
my first car was a Honda Element. It was my dad's car, but he gave it to me in high school to drive to school. So I want to see like a Cube, like a Kia Soul, a Nissan. What is it? Who makes the Cube? Is it Nissan? A Honda Element. I just want to see the box car racing series.
Well, I think another interesting thing too is the Truck Series deadline. I think is September either 14th or 21st. It's like later in September. So
yeah,
I mean, they could follow the Toyota route and join the Truck Series early and then move their way up the way Toyota did, get a foothold, understand it, go from there. The big thing I look at when it comes to Honda coming in is the possibilities for it. One, the teams. There's so many teams that could benefit from being the number one team. I mean, look at Joe Gibbs Racing pre 2008. They were good. They were championship winning. They won, I think, three championships they won in like a 15-year span.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then kick it off, right away as the absolute best team in NASCAR consistently. They had 8 wins with Kyle Busch in 08 that first year. They had some pop-off years competing for the championship. But by the 2010s, they were the best overall team in NASCAR. They had a super team. And probably, I'd say 2015-16, they were taking over from Hendrick of the best super team. So, I mean, think of how a team like Trackhouse or Colleague or Stewart-Haas could benefit being that number one team for an OEM. And then NASCAR has 4 charters just sort of sitting there for any new OEM that jumps in if they want them.
I mean, it's great to see that this is finally getting more traction, because I mean, it was to the point where I was like, hey, I'm just going to believe it when I see it, but we're finally seeing all this stuff coming out. And as far as the teams are concerned, this is very interesting because this is going to be like one of those make or break decisions, because I mean, if Joe Gibbs didn't hop on the Toyota bandwagon early on, would they be as successful? I don't know. So a bunch of other teams are definitely going to be looking at this the same way as well. But also, too, looking at some other series, how will this affect, IndyCar moving forward? I mean, does Honda stay in IndyCar as an engine supplier? Or can Honda somehow do both? Do they work out a deal there for both? I'm not sure. So a lot of
Honda's
questions.
Also in Formula One, correct? So they
Yes.
start to spread themselves a little thin. But I like your point, Jarrett, about the chat's all saying Stewart-Haas, and I think that makes a lot of sense there as well. But I like the Trackhouse theory only because that's the team I feel like that is hungriest for additional charters. So when you mentioned that there's 4 charters up for grabs, and I think NASCAR said they'll sell them for like market price. So like it's not going to be probably 2 million a charter. They're going to have to spend more money than that to get these charters, but just having them available, I imagine Trackhouse would love to jump in on that. And if Honda is willing to foot some of that bill, that could be a huge win for Trackhouse. But Trackhouse is the only pushback I would say is that Trackhouse is a key Chevy partner. That didn't stop Joe Gibbs in the mid 2000s, but I'm just saying it could stop Trackhouse. Stewart-Haas, if in fact Front Row becoming a key partner sort of bumps Stewart-Haas into that fourth wheel, sort of odd man out slot with Ford, then I could see Stewart-Haas using Honda as their opportunity to get back to relevance, because without that Ford key partner status, I feel Stewart-Haas is only going to get worse before they get better.
I won't roll out a Spire even looking to go that way because they still have a long ways to go in their build.
Well, the Andretti connections.
Yeah, Andretti as well. Yeah, and I'm gonna have a bit of a hot take because I see the poll here. I see Legacy has the least votes with 5-6% hovering around there. I'm gonna say maybe sometime down the road, because Eric, you just said don't expect Honda to join the sport next season, right? So I don't know, like as far as the Cup Series is concerned, what are we talking? Maybe 26, 27, maybe 28, something like that. Like maybe sometime, maybe sometime down the line, Legacy Motor Club is just fed up not being a priority again with Toyota, and they decide, hey, maybe if there aren't a whole lot of teams here, then hey, might as well.
What was that year that F1 told the Andretti's they can apply again? By the time they comes around, they might even be in NASCAR.
That's a good point. Andretti could just say screw
2028 is when they would want him to join with GM Motors and all that. So, but yeah, a whole lot of questions, but it's finally great to have another manufacturer. I haven't felt this way since the whole Toyota talks happened. When I was in first grade, really.
So Dirty Def also makes a great point in the chat. Ty Norris was at Michael Waltrip Racing, who was one of the early Toyota adopters. Yeah. He's also now at Trackhouse.
Exactly.
So
exactly has a track record.
It wouldn't be the first time he was kind of one of the new teams with the new manufacturer.
So I will say, just kind of a funny question. Do you think we're gonna have the there's the them cheating Yoders meme? Do you think we're gonna have anything like that with Honda?
Them cheating Honda.
Oh yeah. We'll have that. We'll have that.
It's just, it would be funny to see again that divide, since I think that the viewing base of the sport, while maybe getting older, still has changed so much since then to like more of an overall racing fan rather than just solely NASCAR.
By the way, congrats on hitting the like goal.
Woo-hoo! Yes, thank y'all. The streak continues. Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. But yeah,
that ain't the only big news though.
No. Dale Earnhardt Jr. bought a camper this week, but he's also announced that he's leaving NBC at the end of this year to take on new position with the people at Warner Brothers and also Amazon and their partnership deals. And honestly, I can't say I blame him with the stage he's at in his life.
Well, for the record, he's not announced it yet. It's The Athletic is reporting it.
Sorry, yes.
But Dale Jr. has announced he does not currently have a deal with NBC, and it now sounds like there won't be a deal coming.
All reports are indicating this to be the case for now. Let's just say that.
Yes, it's likely true. I'm just saying. I was just wanted to make that clear. Dale Jr. has not released an official statement, although he did push back against some rumors that NBC was unhappy with how he called races and that they were going to go to a remote broadcast booth. He pushed back against those rumors.
Serious reckless speculation there.
I will say, though, more stuff like that, more rumors, they're going to be flying once NBC comes back. Like that stuff is going to be everywhere.
It's interesting to me. Like, you know how like when you break up with someone, like if you're a guy, you break up with a girl, you go to your homies and your homies are all telling you like, hey man, like, you're too good for her.
She's
shit.
Not
all that. Yeah.
It's all good, bro.
So Dale Jr. is now breaking up with NBC. All of his fans, his homies are saying, well, NBC is shit without you. Like, they're no good. I feel like fans are going to start turning on NBC. And these rumors that popped up this week was just the start of that. They're just, something happened there. So fans are trying to uncover every rock to see. There has to be something wrong with NBC. It's not that Dale Jr. just left because he got a better deal elsewhere. No, NBC, there's got to be a fatal flaw there. And I feel like fans are starting to turn against them. That to kind of back up your point, Jared. I hope my analogy made sense.
No, it makes sense. I won't go that far because I'm not going to go like, they told Dale that he needed to sit down, shut up, and dribble. Like, none of that. Like, I'm not
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that, but I'll go.
What is he, LeBron?
I'll go far enough to say this, and I've been on the record saying this since Dale Jr. was coming into NBC the first time, man. That booth is going to be noticeably, I won't say necessarily worse, but it is not going to have the same kick it had. And it's not completely Dale Jr. I had this issue with NBC from 2015 to 2017. The booth has knowledge. That is not at all what I'm going to be upset with. I think that Steve Letarte, Jeff Burton, and Rick Allen, with the experience he's had in the sport, I think they'll be fine in explaining the sport to fans and doing everything that they've improved so well at. I think Rick Allen gets way too much hate. Do I think he is an Alan Bestwick? Do I think he's a Mike Joy? No. But when you're dealing with A+ talent and then you're like a B+ talent or a B, you're still really, really good. There's still a noticeable difference. But man, Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte's voices when they are getting is grating on the ears. And for me, Burton for me is kind of run his course, like in the booth. I think they can get somebody more knowledgeable, less just grating on the ears, and not as much of a homer for everything NASCAR. Because I think he's honest, but I also think that he's got his area. The whole thing with Harrison Burton. You're really good, and after your first 50 start, 36 starts, 72 starts, 100 starts, it's like, oh, okay, Jeff, we know why you're moving the goalpost.
Yeah, for real.
Let's go full crazy and get Kenny Wallace in there. Come on.
Hey, yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be a good one. But no. And Jared has a good point because, from 2015 to 17, I feel like with NBC's coverage, all right, that first year, I was happy to have him back. But then, right around towards the end of 16 and really for most of 2017, I was kind of getting annoyed with some of their antics in the booths, in the booth every now and then, especially Jeff Burton and stuff. But then once they added Junior on, I'm like, okay, he sort of balances everything out. I feel like, it has that, blend of knowledge and excitement as well. But now that he's leaving, though, I feel like, if you were to ask me the question, can they run it back? Can they run it back like winning a championship, right? But no. Can they run it back after Junior leaves with the original three? I'm gonna say no because now we've been so used to Junior being paired up with them that it's like, now that he's gone, it takes away, it's that giant elephant in the room. So I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for NBC to maybe to start experimenting with some other booth lineups.
I'll ask this because Dale Jr. has his business interests with Dirty Mo. There's all of that. Steve Letarte is part of that too. He's very close with Dale Jr. I'm pretty sure that he's probably the reason Junior would have picked NBC rather than, say, a Fox, who very easily could have fit him into a booth with Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy. Yeah. Does Steve Letarte stay after this year, especially being on the Junior payroll too? Like,
I do doing a lot with Spire too.
Yeah, I do think that moving stuff around can work for NASCAR just so it doesn't feel stale. Because this year is going to feel different, and fans are going to speak out whether it's fair to those on air or not.
Well, no, I feel like, with this new TV deal, with this new media rights deal that's happening, this is the perfect opportunity to have new on-air talent, younger on-air talent, maybe people that we've seen, through iRacing for years before, or from the local short track scene. You know what I mean? Like, it's time. I feel like it's time for change. It's time for a new era of broadcasters. I feel like, and now that there's, more than just, Fox and NBC a part of the deal as well, it's the perfect time for it. And you know what, if I'm NBC, try and find a blend of, with old school and new school in a sense, I mean, because I feel like you can't run it back with the original three because it won't feel as good. It won't feel nowhere near as good as when they had Junior on there. So
and with that said, let's just do it, cowards, and hire John Ramos already.
Yeah, why not? That's just somebody, I don't know, just bring some fresh air, have some fresh air, in the booth. Why not?
But there's another side to this.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother side to this.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about what happens to Amazon now, or what
Prime and
'cause
Turner.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, because they're going to
now
build
they added
around.
a legitimate star to him.
Yeah, they're building. They have someone legit that they can build around. Now, I agree with Denny Hamlin's point on his podcast. Is I think the NBC booth will still be fine, even if they keep it the same. Will it be the same? No, but will it have the same energy, the same vibe? No, but I think it will still be very good. Moving Dale Jr. to Amazon Turner ensures that you will have, recognizable, legit anchor broadcasters throughout the year, So I do think spreading that around is actually in NASCAR's best interest. I know it's not a NASCAR decision, but it works out in their favor. But who do they build around Dale Jr. with? Everyone's going to say Alan Bestwick. That'd be great. Don't know if it's realistic. But could they go get someone from MRN or PRN? Could they go get a local short track person that's relatively unknown? Could they, who else? Could Kurt Busch jump into the booth full time? Who else could they get?
Would Adam Alexander has history with them. So,
He's so
he
tied
was the
in with
last guy,
Fox.
right?
I'd be shocked if they let him go from Fox, of how important he is on Race Hub and everything.
Yeah. If there's an offer there, for Cup, would he take it? Would he not?
Maybe. True.
Good pay for less races, I know, but hey, it's the Cup Series though.
I've got a hot take here, but he's been with Fox for so long, I don't know if I could see it happening. But I would be interested, these two being teammates for a number of years, get him back with Michael Waltrip, see how that combination goes. Because Michael can have good moments, honestly, as a broadcaster, in my opinion.
His
if
grid
you
walk
balance
is
him out with someone like Dale Jr., I'd be interested how that would be.
Yeah, Mikey in the booth for the Cup Series. That
if
would be
they're
interesting.
not having him play a character.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when he doesn't play a character,
I want to
and
see the serious version of Michael Waltrip. I've seen that slip out a few times, and honestly, I prefer that version.
Yeah, he'll probably be goofy every now and then, but mostly a serious broadcasting.
What about Cole Pearn?
I would
who said that this week? Someone
I want
to
say Gluck said it. Probably.
You want the crew chief character role in there too. That's a good one.
And also, he's someone who's more recent too.
Obviously, not with the amount of wins and championships, but I think equal in just the crazy, amazing crew chief mind. It's very reminiscent of how Ray Evernham pretty much cut his crew chief career early with Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Not telling me that him and Jeff Gordon couldn't have dominated 2 or 3 more seasons and got to 7 championships even before, I don't know, maybe even before 2004. That could have happened. And Cole Pearn with Martin Truex Jr., he stays an extra couple years. I think Truex's career is vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, it's just how he is behind a mic. That's all I would want to know. But he's been good in interviews. That could be an option that's relatively younger.
And also,
what about a Todd Gordon? He does stuff for NASCAR.com, I think. He's a crew chief, a championship winning crew chief. Right? Did he win that crew chief with Logano, or that championship with Logano?
Yeah. I thought
Todd Gordon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They keep swapping crew chiefs at Penske every 2 years. Where's Jeremy Bullins now? Is he at Wood Brothers? Where's he at?
I don't know.
Because Cindric has a new crew chief this year.
Who's Blaney's crew chief?
Is it Bullins?
I think
I'm pretty. I'm going J-Ski for this. YouTuber not knowing his stuff.
The only one I know for sure is Paul Wolf is with Logano still. I think, right? Wait, am I now am I losing my mind?
He is.
So
okay.
There's also this aspect of it. Just because the rumor is Dale Jr. would do both, we don't.
That's Hassler with Blaney.
Jonathan Hassler. Duh.
It's a musical chairs game. God
so
damn.
Where is Jeremy Bullins now? Is he with Harrison Burton?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, dude. No, they're talking about creatures. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's just I need to know.
Just because the rumor is that Dale Jr. would go to both, we don't know for sure that it would be the same, that the same people would be at both. So we could even see a split, if Dale Jr. is just the only one who's a constant there. And I'm going to throw out something here because he's been away from NASCAR coverage for a little bit. But if they can work out a deal with ESPN, because we've seen, let's just say, think of this, for example, Pat McAfee, he still has stuff with ESPN, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying Pat McAfee. I don't want to say that.
Against what they want, yes, he still does.
Okay, he still has that, but he also does commentary now on Monday Night Raw for the WWE. So if we can see people work together, why not get Marty Smith involved? Because he has evolved so much more as
Yeah.
a broadcaster since he stepped away from full-time NASCAR stuff. But he gets so involved with things like the Netflix series and other things. He's gotten involved with Dirty Mo Media, him and Ryan McGee both, but Marty Smith in particular is a veteran broadcasting personality at this point that I think would be a perfect fit and a great relationship with Dillon Earnhardt Jr. to get in there.
I agree.
Keep in mind, they also need pit road reporters. So there's a lot of places for different people to pop up that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
I would say I think keeping the same crew together for both spans of it, I think that would be the smarter play. Just because back when they did the 6-pack for TNT, it's like right when that booth was gelling, they finally got the broadcast good. It's like, okay, now we're done. Like you get 10 weeks, they have time to gel together. People are used to it. You have an entire summer, basically, of those guys. And I think it'd be easier to carry over as well.
And I say someone like Marty Smith because if he does that, that's a good summer gig that should not interfere with his college football.
No, they'll be done just in time. Yeah, I guess one final wild card for me, but I don't know. This would probably never happen. Carl Edwards, but you would need to find him and get him off the farm or wherever he's at.
Corn can wait, Carl. Come on.
He keeps showing up at more races every year.
I mean, like, look, I at this point, he's never racing again. I feel like, but I feel like as a broadcaster, like he can come back, right?
Well, Danny, did you just say corn can wait?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's so damn funny.
I love the idea that one of these days we're going to randomly be scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and here's just this guy filming himself on a tractor. You only see the back of his head. You don't know the name on the account, but it's just Carl Edwards filming himself like farming, making farming TikToks and stuff.
Yeah, probably would.
With an AI voice in the background to hide his voice.
That little, this is how I make the corn here on the Edwards farm.
Corn is a type of food that everyone likes around the world. Oh, I think we jumped the shark on this one.
We're getting close to 9 o'clock, so we're definitely getting into the later hours of the show.
Yeah.
But we got one more reckless speculation. We're going to go a little bit faster on these, though, just because we are getting kind of later. Rumor mills. Austin Dillon to retire from driving after 2024. Would this be a good move for RCR and Austin Dillon? Could Austin Dillon bring the team back to prominence in ownership/business roles similar to what his dad has done?
I have said this for years. I even said it in my bad seasons video. I think he would be a much better owner than he is a driver, for sure.
Oh, he's off to another bad start this year. I didn't see where this rumor began.
It's just been like simmering all over just little bits of social media, and I'm starting to see videos pop up of people asking about it, and it's just like...
we talked about it at the beginning of this year, maybe at the end of last year, because Austin Dillon had a terrible season last season, also had a penalty on top of that made it even worse. But like you just mentioned, Danny, he following the footsteps of his father, his grandfather. And yeah, with RCR, Austin Hill winning races, Jesse Love, I think, will be legit. I think Austin Dillon's future is ultimately in an executive role, whether that's this year, next year, 10 years from now, I don't know. But I could absolutely see pressure being put on him before long to maybe step into a different position.
As a NASCAR fan, I got to say, if there was anyone else in that car, they'd already be out of it. But as a NASCAR fan, it does pain me to see the 3 car not really be a factor, and it hurts. It would feel weird to just watch 20 years of mediocrity of the 3 car, honestly.
Yeah, and I feel like to some degree Dillon understands that as well. But then he also, he also wanted to race in the Cup Series as well too. And I mean, you also look at some of his other, some of his other contributions to the team. I mean, he brought Kyle Busch on. He's bringing some of these younger drivers on as well, and I really think Austin Hill will be pretty good in Cup. I feel like if he properly develops, but he needs the right equipment, and the 3 is right there. I feel like Austin Hill is perfect for the Cup Series 3. Perfect.
I think him or Jesse Love. I mean, I think it would be better long term for the team. Maybe short term, it'd be a step back just because he's not a bad driver. I mean, he's not.
But he's not great.
Cup driver either.
It's just he's young.
It's just.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Jesse Love is, but yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think this year it would happen. I do think he'll probably retire sooner than people think, rather than earlier.
Do you think he'll make it to 40? How old is Austin Dillon? Like 33, 32?
I'll look right now.
Do you think he how old is he? Tell me how old he is, man. I'll pick a number.
33.
Do you think he makes it to 30, 38? Do you think he Almirola basically retired at 39 or whatever?
He turns 34 in April. I could see him making it 4 more years or so, but I mean, nowadays for a Cup driver, that's young to retire.
Yeah.
Well, I know something shocking. He's only 4 years older than Austin Hill.
So maybe Jesse Love is the better option.
Yeah, 19-year-old Jesse Love. Yeah, long career ahead of him.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know where this rumor started. I think it's probably because of the Kyle Busch signing. I'd give it maybe a 10% chance of happening. Just because of the obligations with sponsors and no viable driver that'd be age-wise and talent-wise good enough to replace him.
I give it 0% chance of happening after this year, but I do give it honestly 75% chance of happening within the next 5 years.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I'd put a 5% chance on it happening this year, and then add 15% every year after that.
Okay, maybe all right. If he has a season from hell similar to Noah Gregson's, then I'll have it at 50%. But no, until that happens, I'll keep it at 10 for after the season.
And I think there's something else too, rumor wise.
Yeah, 2024 is currently the last year Stewart-Haas Racing is signed on with being in Ford. They are essentially the lowest on totem pole at Ford right now. They're already off to a bad season, despite no Gragson actually surprising a lot of people, but overall they're way behind it right now. I think a lot of people have assumed they're out with Ford as soon as they can. But where do they go? Do they go back to Chevrolet where they originally started? Do they give Toyota a shot? Or do they try to bring Honda in?
Hey, there's an old saying, who says you can't go home? Hey, go back to Chevy where it all began, rebuild, retool, if they are looking at switching manufacturers. But I mean, hey, you never know. Towards the end of the year, maybe stuff can change with Ford where they're performing better too. So, hey, performance is everything. So if they're performing better, then they'll stay at Ford. But if not, I'd say Chevy's their best bet.
I expect Chevy, if they're according to The Athletic, it's likely that they switch manufacturers this year. My guess is they'll be a Chevy team and probably not a key partner Chevy team, so they'll be in the Spire range. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I'd say I think Chevy's going to be a stopgap for them. I do think they're going to end up being a Honda team just because, they're racers. They care. They're strong and opinionated. They are going to want to win eventually someday. And then Tony Stewart will, you can make a lot of videos with Honda coming in, man. You can make a lot of videos. So I think they're going to end up at Honda eventually, but I will say probably Chevrolet in the short term.
If they gave NASCAR teams the option to opt in or out of video games like they did the college football players, they would be like Arch Manning and say, I'm focused on racing on the track.
We're racers at the end of the day.
We're racers. We're focused on racing on the track.
Joke's on you. Ain't nobody playing as y'all anyways.
Then poor Noah Gregson's like, I'm doing well.
Yeah.
But I'll say for leaving Ford, whether it's in the short term or long term, I'll give it a 70%.
All right.
What about you guys?
I'll give it 50.
Leaving Ford, I give it a 90% chance. I don't know where they go from there, but
I give it 100% chance they're leaving Ford.
All right.
But that'll do it for that part of this, and it's time to move on to the next segment, predictions.
Oh boy, I got 3.
Well, really quick, I'll just pop this baby up right here. So with the prediction segment, each host makes up to 3 NASCAR Motorsports or show-related predictions. We keep track of these each week because we're dumb enough to show you when we're wrong and right. And for the host, again, keep the predictions concise, probably within 2 to 3 years or so of when it happens. And well, let's get to our accountability session here. Let's start with me. What did I do right or wrong this week? I got one right, one wrong. I said a non-Chevy team will win at least one race at Las Vegas this weekend. It happened.
Yeah. Bold.
And I also said that a Hendrick driver would follow Icy Vert on Twitter before the green flag of the Cup race. Unfortunately, I was predicting what stale bread would do on social media, so nothing happened. I'm not salty at all. Eric, not too good. You said Cup regular drivers or Eric Almirola would win every race of the Las Vegas spring weekend.
That's a pretty bold take, though, but yeah, it didn't work out for me.
You also said Shane Van Gisbergen would have a top 10 in the spring Atlanta Xfinity race. I think he finished last or second to last.
In the Vegas race. But yeah, no, he blew an engine or something, whatever it was. Dang it.
Darian said someone in the top 3 series would score their first win during the Vegas triple header. That did happen. You also said Todd Gilliland would get a top 5 in the Cup race.
Why did you say that?
Hey, he was coming off of a stellar performance at Atlanta.
It was top 10, maybe. But my goodness,
drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit there. Danny said that we would get a driver on the show before the 2024 Coke 600. We did. Thad Moffett was on earlier tonight. You also said Riley Herbst would win the pole for the Las Vegas race in Xfinity. His teammate did, Cole Custer. So when it comes to the standings here, Darian's leading 50% correct, 5 out of 10. I'm at 40%, Eric 30, and Danny 28.57% correct so far, this far into the season.
Nice.
So let's get into it. What do you guys think's going to happen next? Darian, Nostradamus here. What do you think? What's going to happen this weekend?
Okay, so this weekend, in the Xfinity series, I think, the Xfinity series, we've had, such a slow start to the year. Well, I feel like this weekend is going to be one of those chaotic races. I'm predicting at least 10 or more cautions in that race.
For me, I've already made an Iowa prediction, and I'm gonna make another one. Caitlin Clark will be either the Grand Marshal, flag waiver, or pace car driver for the Iowa Cup race. They're wanting to go big, go bold, go above and beyond. Why not get currently the hottest trending celebrity of Iowa?
That's a fair point. When's because isn't she going to declare for the WNBA draft? When's the draft? Because maybe I don't know.
That's pretty soon. I think. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know the WNBA schedule very well.
Well, they need know when the
NFL draft is.
They need anything possible to get any kind of relevance. So having one of their stars go to a NASCAR race would actually probably help them.
I like that prediction. My first prediction, Chevy is batting 1,000 for the Cup Series so far. They're almost batting 1,000 across NASCAR, but I predict that no Chevys will win this weekend at Phoenix, not counting ARCA. I forgot there's an ARCA race. The Xfinity and Cup race, no Chevys.
Okay, so Jarrett is going with Caitlin Clark to have a big role at the Iowa race. I'm actually going to counter that. This will actually help into another thing that I said, that The Rock would not be the only wrestler to be a Grand Marshal this year. I'm actually going to say WWE World Heavyweight Champion / Davenport, Iowa native Seth Rollins will actually be who is there as a Grand Marshal role, because NASCAR and NBC love to promote. They also have wrestling associated with them.
Okay.
Darian.
All right. It's also the season opening race in St. Petersburg, Florida for the IndyCar Series. I'm going to say Alex Palou wins the season opening race.
I'll do a show-related one. We'll find out by next week on this. I think this Phoenix race for Cup will be above or at 50% net positivity on my poll.
I'll say Phoenix will be up at least 10% year over year in TV viewership. I think the Chase Elliott effect combined with the good vibes the last 2 weeks, we'll see a double-digit increase.
And I'm going to say SHR will announce this year that they will go to Chevy next year.
All right. And for my last prediction for the Cup Series race, Hendrick Motorsports off to a tremendous start as usual, but at Phoenix, I think they'll take it a step further. I predict we will see 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars finish inside the top 4. So I didn't say top 5, top 4. I'm really specific with that. So top 4 finishers are going to be Hendrick cars. Don't know the order though, but we'll find out.
Moving to Prime next year. So this is a long-term prediction, but it'll pay off eventually, hopefully. I think Al Michaels will be part of at least one NASCAR on Prime broadcast next year, whether it's just to add in, do whatever, he might phone it in like he does with Thursday Night Football, but he'll be there.
I mean, can you blame him? Half the time the Thursday Night Football product is unwatchable the last couple of
Hey,
years.
how would you? You're telling me you wouldn't like to see like the Jacksonville Jaguars play the Carolina Panthers? That's not enthralling to you?
Hey, watch out. We got a Carolina audience here. The Panthers.
Oh, they know they suck.
Y'all got a future.
It's a bleak one, but they got a future.
Yeah.
Your best weapon on offense is old ass Adam Thielen.
Eric, it's March Madness. They care more about the Tar Heels right now, not the Panthers, right?
That's a good point. Is it my turn? Yes, my third pick. I think there will be 2 Stewart-Haas cars finishing in the top 10 this weekend on Sunday.
This is a weird one, but Jarrett had an Icy Burt prediction last week. I have one for this week. Icy Burt will reveal on Twitter that he has been blocked by a major figure in NASCAR by May.
We all have the same person in mind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who, but we all have the same person.
But does he count as a major person?
I don't know. I haven't seen his tweets in 10 years.
Okay. But it could be someone like a Brett Griffin as well, or someone. So some kind of.
Oh, well, he just has to say something positive about Chicago for that to happen.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the Chicago race.
Someone with a major following in the sport, he will notice, I've been blocked by this person, and say, why did this happen?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's Twitter. It happens. All right.
And now, I think we got through it. Are we doing random driver or just going into?
Let's do it. Let's do random drive and
Let's
then we
go.
can get into the Phoenix preview.
All right. Let me turn off my screen really quick.
Yep.
Let me turn off my phone.
Blocking the chat.
Okay.
It is
For now. Just temporarily, chat. I'm sorry.
You have all been
closed.
blocked.
All right.
You have been stopped.
All right. Let's do this.
Y'all good?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. This random driver's wife won the 2014 Better Half Dash.
Oh, man.
I never paid attention to
Man, it's one of those. Man.
Yeah, that would have been a giveaway right away. I just knew, I'm giving you a time frame at least.
All right.
2014, you said?
2014.
Yeah. Right.
This random driver is the 1997 USAC National Sprint Car Rookie of the Year.
1997.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I already have a guess in mind.
All right,
but I'm not
all
gonna
right.
get to it.
All
right.
This random driver's first race was at Fontana. Okay.
Oh, hold on. First guess. No, never mind. Keep going.
I was about to
Okay,
say,
guess.
all right,
I hope it's not right. Ryan Newman.
you're not right.
Okay.
Oh, man.
This random driver's best NASCAR Cup Series finish is second
So you never won.
Like in the
Cup
points
race.
or just in a race?
in a race.
Okay,
Okay.
seconds. They never won. Well, I should have held off for one more question.
I'm going to go ahead and put a guess in there. And is it Justin Allgaier?
It is not.
Just that one I feel like should help.
Let's see. This random driver has been in 4 IROC races, with the best finish of 7th coming at Richmond.
But they've never won a cup race.
Hey, an IROC.
Oh, IROC.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it? Nah.
All right, keep going. Because that's a broad. All right, I got an idea now.
At one
An idea.
point in a series not involved with NASCAR, so not a NASCAR series, this driver drove an Oldsmobile as a race car.
Next.
Yeah, next.
This random
Next.
driver is the 2002 and 2003 USAC Silver Crown Series champion.
JJ Yaley.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Let's go. As soon as he said I remember that because in the bus video I made, those are one of the accomplishments I put on.
That was like me last week of Greg Sachs. He was like, boom, I know it.
Because
You got it before the chat, damn.
Damn, hey, ooh, that's a record. Let's go. Because as soon as you said 1997 USAC, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's got to be either him or like somebody else from that time period. But then once you said 02 and 03, back-to-back champs, boom.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find harder facts because I found like 30 of them this week, and we only used like 6.
Hey, we getting
man,
better.
I feel
Side
bad.
note, why the heck was JJ Yaley in IROC?
Why would,
Because I think of the USAC.
the
USAC
USAC, yeah, because the
championships,
USAC,
Yeah,
yeah,
because he was in
yeah.
Iraq in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, because they used to do that, yeah. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
so
that did throw me off for a second. Yeah, good job.
Okay,
So
yeah,
Dan-
the chat. We got it. Question 1. Yeah, because you obviously probably looked it up.
yeah,
Yeah, all you have to do is
Cal.
Google 2014 better half dash results.
Yeah,
there you go. I'm sure it's a giveaway.
I'll give 2 of you the bet. I like at least of like the 472. I guarantee 2 of you probably got it right. But it's funny because the chat has hundreds of people that can just start pushing names out. But they're like, we won.
I Googled 2014 better half dash and immediately Kristen Yaley.
There you go.
Kristen.
I guarantee if we had anyone in the chat on here, they would sit and stammer the same way that everyone else does doing it. So
Hey, but give us credit though. We are getting faster because who won it last week? Eric won it last week, right? Or Danny?
Danny
got
won it.
on the board
Yeah,
last week.
Danny. He was quick with it, and I was quick too. So hey,
So what's the score now? Darian's at 3. I have 2. And
Danny
Danny's
has 1.
at 1.
One.
Okay.
and I'm the host of it. Man, we still have more to go. But what's funniest thing is I already have next week's planned out, and I think it's going to be a little more difficult.
One of these days, we will do one where we just try to make Jarrett guess.
Oh yeah, maybe during the off weekend, maybe one of the off weeks.
there you go.
Knowing you guys, because of how much I'll do stuff to throw you off, you'll probably be like, dude, this person is connected to the Cup team. That's like a fucking iRacer or something.
Yeah, some crazy shit.
All right.
Oh, who was that one guy that like made like a handful of starts at 96 car, but like for Toyota, but it's like just
Daniel
a
Suarez.
driver.
Oh, Drew Herrig.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a memory, bro.
I'm going to put him on the list. I am going to put him on the list. Good. Thank you, Danny.
Man.
All right. So, Phoenix. But that's actually the reason I use JJ Yaley. He's an Arizona native.
Yep, he's from there. Yeah, from there.
Real quick. Appreciate it, Super Chats. I'm not going to read this one. It's just
Yeah. Move on from that one, bro. But yeah, Phoenix is this week. Danny.
Yeah.
Danny.
Let's talk.
Let's go. It's late.
Oh, damn it.
Okay. This weekend's notes for this weekend's race. We will be running the new short track package. Most think, though, it's going to be pretty much the same thing as what we saw in 2023. So remember that when it comes to the picks coming up later. The Cup Series race name is the Shriners Children's 500. This is a 312-lap race broken up by, very interesting here, only 60 laps in stage 1, but then 125 laps in stage 2, and 127 laps for stage 3. That is a weird way to have that broke up.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Start time for this one is 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch this race on Big Fox and the Fox Sports app. Radio coverage will be on MRN and Sirius XM. Weather, Mother Nature is on vacation because it's going to be 80 degrees, only a 3% chance of rain, and the defending winner of this race is William Byron. The Xfinity Series race is the call811.com every dig, every time 200. Right there. This is a 200-lap race, broken up 45 laps stage 1, 45 laps stage 2, 110 laps in stage 3. This one is set to start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. You can catch TV coverage on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Radio coverage will be on MRN and Sirius XM. Weather is a high of 73 degrees with a 6% chance of rain, and the defending winner of this race is Sammy Smith. Darian, what is Las Vegas saying about the Cup Series race?
Yes, sir. So for the betting odds this weekend, it's the same at the top position, but a lot closer this time. Kyle Larson enters this weekend as the odds-on favorite at plus 600. Ryan Blaney is plus 700. William Byron plus 750. Ross Chastain plus 850. And finally, of the favorites, Denny Hamlin at plus 900. The best of the rest, Christopher Bell and Martin Truex Jr. plus 1,000. Kyle Busch at plus 1,200, Joey Logano plus 1,400, and Tyler Reddick plus 1,600. And for the underdogs, Ty Gibbs is also at plus 1,600, Chase Elliott plus 1,800, Chris Buescher and Chase Briscoe plus 2,000. And finally, Brad Keselowski, off to a slow start, is the true underdog of this list at plus 2,200. Now for the NWP fantasy leagues, where we are now combining all three, the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck NWP leagues into one to see which league is truly the best. And so far, the NWP Cup Series is living up to their name. Jake Titan on YouTube is currently the overall points leader in Cup and just in the overall standings at 635 total points. In second, also in Cup is Big Z15 with 565. And third is Trevor Sports 98 from Cup, also a former champion of the Cup Series at 559 or championship contender. And at number 4, we have our Truck Series points leader, and they changed their name from last week to not wife of Redacted, and if you know, you know. He is the Truck Series points leader, but fourth in the overall standings at 557 points. And finally, in fifth, the Xfinity Series points leader is Catch Fence Motorsports at 552. And now to our pick points, Danny.
Yes, that is right. Once again, I get to have this over my shoulder. Acknowledge me. Number one, leading the standings with 65 points, with one lonely Cup Series win still from that Busch Clash to start the year. Eric is in second, tied with the chat, minus 15 points back. Eric gets the tiebreaker, though, by having one win, and the chat has no win so far. Darian is in fourth with one Cup Series win and one Truck Series win, 16 points back. And Jarrett, with 2 Xfinity wins and 1 Truck Series win, is in fifth, minus 20 back. Behind me, you guys are under a blanket, but I somehow keep staying ahead because while I'm not winning, I'm staying like consistently second or third best every race somehow.
And consistency is key for sure. But hey, I'm only minus 1 point from second too. I can easily be in runner-up this week. So hey,
I could easily hold on to second about as easily as I could fall into the basement this week. It does feel nice though to be back in my traditional second place running spot though. I feel at home.
And to me, of all people, who would have ever thought?
Hey, it's a new system. So hey, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Mickey. I'm gonna be crowned Mickey Mouse champion of this new system we got going.
We'll see. All right.
That means I'm first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right.
Xfinity race.
William Byron.
Well,
I
crossed
knew
that
it.
one off my list.
That's why I didn't even put that one number one, because I knew it would be gone.
I was hoping. I was holding out just a little itty bitty hope. But you know what? Looking at the field, we're going to Phoenix. This is the championship track, right? This driver, he needed to win this race to win the championship. I'm going to go with Cole Custer.
Okay. All right. Chat seems to be going Justin Allgaier, which is
I knew they would. I knew they were going to do that.
Shoot, and I'm torn between these two guys. I kind of had them equal on my list. Oh, it's so boring. Screw it. Sheldon Creed. I'll go Sheldon Creed this week.
That's not boring at all.
Yeah, that's not boring.
It's because I actually want to pick John Hunter Nemechek.
Because the wheel is in his hand.
Well, I'm not. It's funny you say Sheldon Creed because I'm going with a first-time winner, and I'm actually going with the guy in Sheldon's old car. I'm going with Jesse Love to come through and get the win at Phoenix.
He didn't come through me last week, but hey, might come for you this
Hey,
week.
we saw a first-time winner here last year,
Yeah,
and Jesse's raced at Phoenix before. I think he's won down in ARCA.
he has.
Yep.
Yeah, on a championship.
I'd watch how many times, Darren, you say that the way you said it, or you're gonna end up on one of those Instagram accounts.
I don't know.
What did he say? I was on the.
What did I say?
Say it again.
Yes, how he'll come through.
I don't.
Oh, I know what Instagram.
Yeah, Danny sent me videos from that account multiple times where it just cuts off.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Chat,
Now I
if you know what it is, put it in the chat.
I
Know what we're
know what
talking
you're talking about. Oh my gosh. We're crazy.
All right.
Insane.
So
Who's gonna suck this week?
that makes it even better. Alex Bowman.
Oh,
He's not good here. I know it's his home track. You know, he had that great run, but he ain't good here.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Joey Logano, man. I don't know, man. Just something that, just for his standards at Phoenix, I think he's gonna suck.
chat. Who you guys got? Austin Dillon, maybe Priest, Bowman.
Watch a bunch of people spam like William Byron or someone that's really actually good.
And crazy. Some crazy answer.
Give him Austin Dillon. I've seen a bunch of
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah, he's seeing threes.
And we
That's
know
the
they're
easy
not
one.
going to pick Dillon to win.
No chance.
I am going
They don't
to.
have Ty Dillon anymore, so they're picking on Austin.
I'm gonna go with Christopher Bell. I'm sorry, he let me down so bad at Vegas. I
Yeah.
gotta get my revenge this week.
I'm gonna go with his teammate Ty Gibbs. He's off to a good start, but I don't think it'll be here.
All
right.
right. Dark
Dark
horse.
horse.
Yes. I'm going to go with somebody who did pretty good until his brakes fell out of the car last year at a similar track. I'm going to go Carson Hocevar.
I'll stick with the Spire camp. I'll go with Zane Smith though. I want to see I want to see him finally put a full race together this season. He has yet to do that this year.
Chat's dark horse. Maybe leaning
They're all
Host-
saying Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe. Yeah, actually, I'm seeing a lot of Briscoes, which is actually going to
Yeah.
be my dark horse pick. So I'll go with Josh Berry. I said 2 SHR cars get top 10s. I think it'll be Berry and Briscoe.
So we're going to give Briscoe to the chat.
Sure, and I'll take
Yep.
Berry.
You know, I'm gonna join in this. I'm actually gonna pick Gragson as a dark horse here.
All right. See, Stewart-Haas Racing getting some love finally. There you go. And now it's time for the main event. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win this weekend at Phoenix? Jarrett.
I wonder if Jared's gonna have the same answer as last time.
I'm going to go with somebody. Again, I might need points more than I need just swinging for the fences here. This guy has 3 straight second place finishes. He's got to break through, right? I'm going to go with our defending champion, Ryan Blaney.
Fair enough. Crossing that one out.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna go with the hot hand right now. Hey, one last week, maybe 2 in a row. Kyle Larson.
Okay, chat. Pressure's on. A lot of options. Can't
Are-
pick Blaney.
Are they going to
or
go Byron again?
I think they're actually going. Maybe
Or I can't pick
Dang,
Larson,
A lot
sorry.
of ones.
Ooh, it looks like between 1 and 24.
Spam, damn it!
1
We're
or
gonna have to give
20,
him a poll on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
1
might
or
have to pull
24.
which is important because one of those guys could be my pick. So I kind of need to know.
I feel like this is the one and only time a YouTuber is like, spam, for Christ's sake. Tell us what you want.
Do it, yo. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be an important poll for you, Eric.
Chastain or Byron? Chastain or Byron?
Byron.
Chastain or Byron?
Well, let's see. All right, so the chat.
Chastain
Ooh,
or Byron?
they're
I'm
going
not gonna give you all
Chastain.
on, by the way. So better
Byron?
hurry.
Chastain. Byron.
Let's see.
Chastain.
All right, over 100.
Byron.
Should we go to 200 votes?
Chastain.
People
Y'all
are-
can make. Y'all
I'm
can
gonna
make it
give
quick
y'all
enough.
to 200 votes. So hurry up.
200 votes, y'all. But it's looking like
That's
Chastain right
135
now.
on my end.
All right.
137,
Give
39.
him Ross.
But if it stays looking like this, then
If it stays,
Oh.
let's see. If it stays like this to
I think you can probably
160. You're pretty good.
you can pencil in Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
Chastain for the chats.
Dang it, you took my number one.
That was my number 2. Oh, so I guess I go with my pretty solid backup, and that is Tyler Reddick.
And I will go with the one the chat didn't go with, which was my number 2, William Byron.
There you go.
I
Well
feel like
worked out.
this week, Danny is either going to get like a plus 20 lead or his lead's going to evaporate, but there's going to be no in between. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel like
Hey,
it's going to be
I'm
like
rooting
that.
for Danny this week. I've had my prediction that he would still be leading the points after the West
What would
Coast
be
swing.
funny as hell is if like you tied him, Eric, but you like had the tiebreaker or something.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's
Don't
Nobody's happy.
Well, if the tiebreaker was, if we were tied now, I would have the tiebreaker with 1 cup win.
Mhm.
So
I just have an Xfinity win. Pathetic.
It would be easier to sweep this week.
Yeah.
That's true. Ooh. Creed, Reddick, Creed, Reddick, Creed, Reddick, Creed, Reddick.
Byron Blaney.
honestly, I feel like I come out pretty solid on that one for having to pick last.
Yeah, who'd you end
Yeah.
up with? Byron and
Love.
Byron and Jesse Love.
I think
Yeah, that's
Jesse
not
Love's
bad.
I think that's a bold pick, but no, it's not bad. But I think that one's a little bold.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
And
All right.
that's it. Right?
That's it.
Yeah, we can get into the final super chat stage break of the night.
Yes,
How about
sir.
All right, so we last left off with NASCAR. So next up will be Rios. Appreciate the $5. If the Honda to NASCAR rumors do come to reality, do you think Spire and Gainbridge could also switch to Honda to become a Tier 1 team?
Yes.
Possibly. We talked a little bit about that, especially considering the Andretti connection there and all that. Hollow, appreciate the $2. Fox's Cup broadcasts have been awesome so far. Broadcasting side, yes. The production still up for debate, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Aiden Whiting, appreciate the $1.99. Are the 9 and the 48 making the playoffs? I mean, I think good amount of, I think most of us all had the 9 in there. Some of us had the 48 in there, but I'd say at least one of those two makes it. 48 up in the air. Need for Speed 53. Appreciate you being a member for 10 months. Poverty Motor Club is now Poor Motor Club. Pit Stop Perspective, appreciate $1.99. Great week to have a Hendrick car sponsorship. Yep, they got the sweep this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Isaac McKissick, appreciate the $4.99. Alex Bowman, P18, 13 points. Not good. Phoenix is next. Great. Not like he's struggled there in the past. At least the best friends library looks good, which he does always have that at Phoenix, and it does look good.
Yeah.
I noticed it had some cats and dogs on there, so pretty good look for this weekend. Antar Doss, appreciate $1.99. Did I spend $200 for a Garage 56 diecast? Yes, I did.
You damn right you did.
And I hope you enjoy it. I will not be paying for it, but I hope you enjoy it. Austin Blanchett, appreciate the $4.99. Question for all of you. What is the one video on each of your individual channels each of you are the most proud of to this point?
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard.
Honestly, still looking back on it, I'm glad that I called out Tia Norfleet on because it needed to be said.
I'll go with the I don't know, like there's so many videos like that, but I guess just for a quick answer, Kara Hendrick video, telling her story like that because not a lot of people knew who she was as a racer, so that was cool.
I would probably say Groovy Gulch, the Western Downhill Diecast series. I was very proud.
That was just a lot of fun for me.
That was
my dad and I put in a ton of work on that track, and yeah, I don't think I'll ever do it again, but it was cool. The final product was so cool. It was very rewarding.
I mean, I feel like my cop out is the Teresa one. I feel like the nickname Wicked Witch of the South like took off a lot more after that took off.
It was definitely being spoke of a lot more after that video, I feel like.
But
Yeah.
I'll say the one I'm most proud of, and this is it's gonna be corny. NWP #1.
That is corny. Get that out of
so
here, Jack.
corny. So corny. Oh
Me and my
God.
shaved hair, corner camera, looking like a
Skinhead Danny.
a black market radio host or something like that.
Yeah.
Sofa in the background.
Oh yeah, but Boiler. Yeah. The Fastenal Curse. That's another good one too. Sure, that one too.
Appreciate it, Austin. That one got us really thinking a little bit. Brandon Thunder Productions, appreciate it, $2. Hope to see you all at the Coke 600 weekend. Won't be there this year, maybe another year.
Yeah.
Isaac Mallory, appreciate the $1.99. Tips on hanging bumpers. I got Corey's from Chicago. I've never hung up bumper sheet metal. I've only hung up like doors and quarter panels. I'm not sure what to tell you on that one.
Yeah.
I've not hung up a bumper. I know I had a windshield, and I had like a couple just basic little shelve pieces that I put on, and then I just let it rest kind of on those two shelve pieces, and it worked out pretty well. But I don't know how to do a bumper. I've never tried that.
Me neither.
Ross Crashstain, appreciate the $2. I will not stand for Ty slander from car spin fans.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Rocks reviews and reactions, appreciate the $2. Who do you all have winning the regular season championship? It's too early for that, man. But Kyle
Larson. Larson.
Byron. The Chevys are going to be good early compared to the Toyotas and especially the Fords. And I think they'll get it on, better later. But Byron's already doing really well. Already got a win.
If his pit crew would figure it out, I would say Kyle Busch. But I think Byron's a good pick.
Omar Lopez, appreciate the $4.99. If SHR goes to Honda in 2026, what is SHR going to do in 2025? Run unbadged Fords like Abraham in 2000?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's way back to the memory bank.
I don't think that they would be that salty of a group. I don't know.
They wouldn't be that down bad, I don't think.
I mean, to be fair, the new Ford body styles, you about can't even see a Ford logo on them anyway. So
yeah,
it's true.
It pains me to read this next one. Joseph Knuckles, appreciate the $5. Danny, I hope you're ready for Reed and the gang from Kentucky to come and take over Rocky Top Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see.
We come in and we whooped y'all in your house. We're gonna whoop you in Rocky Top this weekend. By the way, we got revenge on South Carolina. I saw that we won tonight too, so that was good.
Nice.
Austin Boyansett, appreciate the $4.99. NBC doesn't care as much as everyone thought they did. If you need any proof, just look at how many races aren't on main NBC. That's a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion.
It's not to say they don't like NASCAR. They think NASCAR will bump up their cable numbers, or at least keep their cable numbers from dwindling as quickly as they have been.
CBB, appreciate the $5. If Booty Barker ever gets tired of being a crew chief, I would love to see and hear him in a broadcast booth. It's funny. Yeah. I remember back in the days of Speed, he actually did a lot of stuff with the Speed Network.
Yeah, for trackside, I remember those days. Yeah, and for their broadcasting stuff too. I remember those. Yeah,
and then when that kind of went away, he just went back to being just a behind the scenes again.
Bring him back.
Hunter Nixon Fishing, appreciate the $4.99. Hot take: if we talking about a 3-man booth with Junior and Bestwick, and they allow him to be himself and unfiltered, put Kyle Petty back in. What the heck does Kyle Petty have to do with this?
Yeah, what does he have to do with it?
He has everything to do with this. That's actually not a bad pick. I hadn't even considered Kyle Petty.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like Kyle Petty more where he is as an analyst more than a play-by-play guy. I know people don't like him, but he says stuff people don't want to hear. And I like that. Yeah. Now that it's not about my driver.
We're not going to rate these two because they were kind of disrespectful.
But thank you for your money.
Yay!
Money.
Thank
Alex
you.
Luff, appreciate the $5. I got an idea. If Danny is still leading the pick points after Phoenix, he does utter WWE references like Randy Orton or Finn Balor. I will come RKO, the second place person.
RKO.
What if for every section of the season that Danny is leading the pick points further, he just goes further and further back in wrestling history references.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
come dressed up like Hulk Hogan for one show.
And immediately Darian's thinking of our fantasy draft.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Chad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Napa Racing Fan 927, appreciate the $5. Wallace had a tire stuck. Win. Fox didn't show it. Caruth
Yeah.
passed Taylor Gray for the lead. Win. FS1 didn't show it. Caruth was too fast for FS1.
Hey, I saw it on the Raw feed at least.
For everything, for all the credit we rightfully have given Fox for improving their Cup coverage, they still have had some doozies this year.
Yeah.
That's true. Quattro, I know you've been kind of a new member and getting involved here tonight. Appreciate that. Appreciate the $5. Any opinion I spew is for one reason: to push Trackhouse propaganda and an agenda. I'm all for it. Spew your Trackhouse propaganda on us.
There you go.
Grid Flow, appreciate the $2. Why is Chase struggling and winless again in 2024?
We're 3 races in. What?
Patience.
We did 3 races. Like, hey, we're good. Hey, come back in 9 races. That'll be 1 quarter into the season. Then we'll talk.
Hey man, as long as they didn't right rear hook someone in the wall at Charlotte's an improvement over last year.
Yeah, right.
Just stay away.
I mean, he raced this weekend. That's an improvement over last week.
yeah, technically, yeah.
That's
Stay
probably
away
a
from
taste.
the snowboards. Gary Buki, appreciate it. Another generous $20 actually. We've been very generous. Appreciate that. No Ty Dillon slander. My bad. He had that 42 ride in 2022. Oh wait, 29th in points. Well, the 77 last year. Oh right, 32nd points. Well, he's still in Cup. Oh, he's in trucks now. Well, at least he's improved there, right?
Oh,
Damn.
Oh.
That's not slander. That's a straight up like character assassination.
I mean, where's the lie though? It's all facts.
That's
Yeah,
I didn't say it was wrong.
That was cruel and unusual.
Oh man.
I don't know what this is about. Cashwood, $1.99. Whoa, Darian, pause, bro. I guess. That's
It's
not the
from that earlier thing, yeah, from the reference, and I was like, oh god.
Blake Feeman, appreciate $1.99. Try to get Slap Shoes and Brockbeard on soon. We'll try
on
to if we can get them on.
Yeah.
I think we can figure
Red
something
Dog
out.
81, appreciate $2. Acknowledge Danny B. That's right. You should acknowledge me
Done.
for as long as we can. I don't know how long it's going to go.
Just one more week. That's all.
He's our 2023 Kyle Busch.
Grid Flow, appreciate that $2. I was asking, do you think he will be winless?
Okay, yeah. To be
Okay,
fair,
okay.
yeah. To be fair. Okay, yeah. No,
I
I don't think
he's
he'll
gonna
be
win this year. I just don't know when.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll be winless though. I don't think
We're
he'll be-
talking about Chase, right?
Yes,
Chase
yes.
Elliott.
Watch his win is like a rain out win. It's like he stays out after running like 20th all day at Sonoma
Well,
of all places, and
well,
they have to
remember-
call it.
Well, remember, Jared, we saw him win a rain shortened race before in person.
I've seen
That was-
Chase Elliott win a whole lot of damn races. Same with Denny Hamlin. I want to see some new damn people win.
I feel like, is it wild that I feel like I'm already feeling like Chase Elliott's best shot is a super speedway? is that wild?
It's
Yeah,
been 3 races.
Yeah, we just started.
He finished
bro.
second at Indy last year without
But his-
stages.
What's his winless streak at now? Like 40, 50 races?
Yeah, I think
It's got to be around
Something
40.
That. Something like that.
I feel like we are jumping the shark so
Just
much
saying.
on this one. Like
I didn't say
give me
say
time.
he won't win. I said he has a good shot.
I know,
at
but-
the
but-
super speedway.
But like, okay, yeah. You know, I'm not saying Dale Jr. won't win in 2010. Just he's probably only going to be good at Daytona and Talladega. Like, let's give it a few races.
And,
Like,
and
just
then
a
watch
few.
Chase Elliott win this weekend.
Yeah, like he could.
Exactly.
He's good.
Which I'll be fine with that because I said like 3/4 of Hendrick would win before a certain race, so I'd get a prediction right.
The Baldwin House would be very happy with that.
Very happy.
Yeah. All right, 2 more super chats have come in while we've been arguing about Chase Elliott winning or not. Alex Love, appreciate the $5. I would also say my personal favorite, Edge, but he jumped ship. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Talking about WWE wrestlers. Yeah, he's now Adam Copeland in
Mhm.
AEW.
Yeah.
I don't watch that crap.
Yeah. It really is crap.
Alex, appreciate the $5. Congratulations, Eric, on your recent opportunity to speak at the track stages. It's really cool to see the hard work you put in pay off.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. It's been fun. You know, Daytona was kind of rainy, So I'm hoping Phoenix, it's high and dry, hopefully get a good turnout, can go for the full, I think we'll have like 45-minute window for each show. No, it's awesome. It really is cool to get to have like a designated, show space at the track. Hopefully one day, maybe in the not so distant future, we can get a show like this on stage at track. I think that would bring some crazy rowdy energy on race day.
No lawsuits.
Imagine some of the energy we get in this chat being in person and right in front of us.
No,
boy.
This rowdy energy will not bring lawsuits.
Okay. On that note, that's all the super chats, and that's all the time that we've got here tonight for NWP. We appreciate everyone for coming in as usual each week. Appreciate Thad Moffett, Team Faction 46, showing up tonight earlier as well. If you missed that, make sure you go back and listen back to Thad and everything he had to say with us earlier on. Join us next week on March 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, over on Eric Estep's channel. We'll be going over everything that happened at Phoenix. We'll have a special guest, Jet MDK, joining us as well. And we will get set to talk about one of my favorite tracks of the year, Bristol Motor Speedway. So until then, this is Danny B, your points leader. Acknowledge me, and we hope you have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.
Son.
Good. It's Bristol, baby. Son.
The grilled chicken son.
Goodbye. It's Phoenix first.
Drivers, start your engines!
Green flag, all rolling. All the way out. Stay in, come on. Bye-bye, Sonny. See you later. These guys are really good. Keep digging, stay in the gas. Hang on, dude, baby. Did not hit a thing. Why are you waiting so long, man? Bottom clear, shaking you down here. White flag, hit your mark.
Damn, that super chat at the end is brutal.